What's the chat room? You have to Oh,
We welcome you to the LUMI Business Summit hosted by the State of the African Diaspora in association with Black Links Global and the African Kingdoms Federation. Learn how to incorporate the LUMI into your business, how to introduce your customers to the LUMI, how the LUMI benefits your business thanks to incentives, and so much more. Sign up and receive 10,000 US dollars in our currency. Sign up and also receive your 100 LUMI stimulus each month. The first LUMI Business Summit, Wednesday, January 27th. Join via Zoom from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. London time, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 2 hours well spent. We welcome you to the LUMI Business Summit hosted by the State of the African Diaspora in association with Black Links Global and the African Kingdoms Federation. Learn how to incorporate the LUMI into your business, how to introduce your customers to the LUMI, how the LUMI benefits your business thanks to incentives, and so much more. Sign up and receive 10,000 US dollars in our currency. Sign up and also receive your 100 LUMI stimulus each month. The first LUMI Business Summit, Wednesday, January 27th. Join via Zoom from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. London time, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 2 hours well spent.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's morning still for me.
Okay, how you doing, Deandra?
I'm well. How have you been?
I'm being excellent, excellent. Thank you.
Very good.
I'm so happy, so happy to
I
see
see you got on all your clothes. I am happy to see you as well. I see you have on all your clothes. That means it must be winter. For real.
I thought people be thinking that I'm usually here with no clothes on, talking on Zoom. Yeah, it is a little bit chilly. It's a little bit chilly.
Yeah.
Had to take some of the wool out. So
Yeah, man. Yeah.
okay.
So yeah. But yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Hi, Deandra. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I think I
Oh,
can.
this one has on his mask. I wonder if we need to be politically
Good.
correct and wear our mask.
I don't-
Any chance I could escape wearing a mask, I'm gonna do it.
I hear you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Prime Minister. How are you today?
Your Excellency.
Hello, Denise. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Prime Minister, and you?
Yes. And you, how are you? And Andrea,
Good
good to see you as well.
Good morning.
I'm well, yes.
Hello, Mrs. Tattoo,
Good
Ambassador.
morning, PM.
Afternoon, greetings.
Greetings, PM.
We have Soulja on board.
Morning. I'm from Jamaica.
Mr. Kiana.
We can hear that.
We have Kitira, of
Uptown Link
course.
Up team.
Nothing can be
Morning,
done.
Mr.
We have
Prime
Servias. Great.
Greetings.
Hello, Soulja. Great.
Okay, it's 4:10 now. Deandra, are you gonna be going through the agenda with everything, or is it me? Wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I can if you want me to.
No. I didn't know if you were just popping in. I've got the agenda here, so I'll open it up if you're okay with that. I wasn't sure if you were going to open it up or not.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to open it up.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I thought I was just coming into with my school book and my pencil.
Okay.
To learn today. But I still have my pencil and I still have my school book, so I'm still learning.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let me just let's just check that all of the speakers are here then. I see Prime Minister obviously here. Chief Timothy, are you with us already?
Yes, Chief is here. I can see him.
Oh, my microphone was muted. I apologize. Greetings.
Greetings.
Afternoon.
Can you
Greetings, Chief
unmute
Timothy.
Deandra? Sorry.
Oh, I can see Her Majesty.
Okay.
Her Majesty, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister. Nice to see you.
Thank you very much for attending this meeting.
You're
Okay.
welcome. My pleasure.
Absolutely. Pastor Audie Cummings, Black Links, you're with us? Pastor Audie Cummings?
Yes, I think he's there.
Okay. Dr. Chung, Dr. Cheryl Chung, are you with us? Looking, Dr. Cheryl Chung. I see Hugh is with us, Honorable Hugh Johnson is with us. And I see Black Links Global, Mr. I'm just trying to make sure that the speakers are here before I get off. Yes, you're going to speak for us today, aren't you?
Most definitely. Myself and my colleague, Pastor Audi Cummings, we're here and we're available.
And your Sorville
Kayana.
Okay,
Yes.
Sorville Kayana. Okay, so it looks like everybody is here, so we can get started.
Excellent.
Yes, excellent. All righty. All right. Okay, everybody. Congratulations, first of all, to us. I think this is quite monumental. Quite monumental. Okay. We're going to ask you, I was just about to say, we're going to ask you to mute your microphones. At this time, we'd like the microphones on the speakers only to be open. And then, of course, we do have a question and answer period that will come. So at this point, please mute your microphones and we can get started. LUMI is light, currency powered by our most famous and bountiful natural resource, the sun. Currency which is destined to eliminate debt across the continent of Africa, and currency which enables the diaspora to be the leading partner in restoring Africa. And the LUMI is also currency which has opened the door to help amidst the coronavirus pandemic with a 3-year stimulus program of 6 trillion LUMI. Welcome one and all from around the world to the first LUMI Business Summit. My name is DeAndre Hamilton. I'm the spokesperson, honored to be the spokesperson for the State of the African Diaspora and the facilitator of today's inaugural Global Summit for LUMI. Not only are we joined by the Prime Minister of the State of the African Diaspora, SOAD, President of the African Kingdoms Federation, executives from SWIFIN and Black Links Global, but we are also joined, I didn't know it was going to happen, by our dear Queen of Sheba, Queen Sheba III. So happy to have you, Your Majesty, with us. There will be a demonstration of the LUMI Sign Up Plus practitioners will speak. They're based in Jamaica. And there will also be, as mentioned before, an opportunity for a question and answers. And since we want to get all of this done, this fantastic body of work done in about 2 hours, let's get started. And we do start. We go first for our welcome remarks from the Prime Minister of the State of the African Diaspora, the Honorable Dr. Louis George Tim. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, dear spokesperson of the government. Greetings to all. Greetings, Her Majesty, Chief Timothy McPherson, the Vice Prime Ministers of the SOAD, ministers, ambassadors, MPs, brothers and sisters. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to speak of the LUMI, this currency created by Chief Timothy McPherson, Chief Simaco, from Accompong, Jamaica. I would like to say a few words as an introduction about the LUMI. A currency is a tool of communication. And you will find out that if you have a lot of money, you can communicate with everywhere, everybody. If you don't have any money, it will be difficult for you to communicate with anybody. A currency is also like a phone. If you have the best phone, the up-to-date, the latest iPhone, but you are the only guy on the planet who has a phone, you will find it very difficult to use it. You need at least another person to have a phone, and then you can have a channel of communication. It's the same thing for any currency. You need somebody who wants to buy with this currency, and another person who needs to sell with this currency. So buyers and sellers are essential to this economic business, economic relationship, economic communication. The problem is that for many years, decades or century, our Pan-African community was more used to communicate with Europe or United States than with ourselves. You will find out, for example, that Togo is making more business with France than with Benin, which is the same people. And then when I say is making business with France, I should say France is making business out of Togo. That's the reality. So that's why we have this trade union, which is about making business within ourselves. But business is not something that you can decree. Even if you say, okay, there are no more barriers in the continent, you need to have mechanisms, you need infrastructures, you need to have ways, companies, airlines, airports, businesses, you need to have traders, you need to have farmers, and you need to have a currency. Whenever you use the French currency called CFA, I remind you that C stands for colonies. Well, at the end of the day, you will only reinforce France. Whenever you are using the euro or the dollar, at the end of the day, you only reinforce Europe or America. And it will be the same with any other company, any other currency, like the Chinese currency, etc. So if we want really to reinforce ourselves, we need a Pan-African currency. I would like to mention a very interesting investigation that was made a few years ago. If you give $100 to a Chinese person in the United States, the money will remain in the Chinese community that is called Chinatown for 28 days. So when the person wants to go to the restaurant, he or she will go to the Chinese restaurant because he's Chinese. If he wants to buy some clothes, he will go to the Chinese tailor, and there are many, because he is Chinese. If he needs to go to the doctor because he's ill or she is ill, they will go to the Chinese doctor because they are Chinese after all. So all the money of the financial momentum that they have will remain in the Chinese community, at least for 1 month, 28 days. And of course, gradually it will disseminate in the whole country. But first, it will reinforce the Chinese community. When you give $100 to a Black person in the United States, the money will remain in the Black community for 6 hours only. Because the guy will go to Kentucky Fried Chicken because he needs to eat some chicken. He will go to buy some Nike because he needs some new shoes. Well, I have nothing against Nike or KFC, but obviously they are not Black owned. So the person could go to buy some food in the African restaurant or buy some clothes in the African place, but they don't go. So they enrich other people. It's not a problem of poverty. If they had more money, they would still give more money to the other people. But we need to keep this money for ourselves. Why don't you buy from your sister? Why don't you buy from your brother? So this is why it is so crucial to have really a mechanism that is a currency by which we reinforce each other. If somebody says, now I have some LUMIs and I would like to buy a menu, a combo from Kentucky Fried Chicken, you will find out that that's impossible. Probably Kentucky Fried Chicken will tell you, we don't know about this currency, we don't accept this currency. Well, that is fine. That is exactly what I want to hear. So you will find out that with this currency, you need to promote your own community. So this currency is made by, for the Pan-African community. So, of course, now you know that the currency was launched in October. It's already for the citizens, and they may receive a stimulus every month for 3 years. So all the citizens of Africa and of the diaspora are entitled to receive this stimulus, but also businesses. And this is what we are going to talk about today. Businesses are entitled also, of course, they have to participate to this initiative. So I don't want to be too long. My conclusion of an introduction, of course, is also a way to remind you that when you use the dollar, you know, on the banknote, you can see George Washington's face. Well, this guy was probably a great president, but I'm afraid he had also many slaves. So I don't know if he was a great president for the American people, but for the slaves, he was a slave owner. So on the face of a dollar, this is what you can find. Perhaps in a few days, we will have Harriet Tubman, and that would be very great. But for the moment, I can see George Washington and a few other guys who were slave owners. When I can see the LUMI created by Mr. Timothy McPherson, Chief Seamaker, what I can see is a free person of African descent who is a maroon. And excuse me, but I had to identify myself much more to a maroon person rather than a slave or a slave owner. So it's a symbol, but that says a lot about the philosophy behind. So if you want to be free, if you want to have your free trade agreement in action, not only in written paper, if you want to have your not only freedom of expression, but freedom of business, and you want to work for yourself and for your community, and if you want to stop to be exploited by others, I urge you to come to the LUMI and to participate to this summit to see how it could work for you and for your community. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister. And we are just always so grateful to have you, and very well presented. I always love the way you just break it right down and make it so practical so that we get a real understanding of the value of this LUMI. And now we bring to you the man of the hour, if we can say that, quite a genius, I find. I think he's a genius. It's just such a pleasure. He's so easy on the airs. You can hear his sincerity, you can hear his professionalism, and you can hear his passion. And this is often what we need as we navigate through what is quite I like to call it a grand body of work. This is a big job that we're doing in this state of the African diaspora. And we want to move now to our very own Chief Timothy McPherson. He is the Minister of Finance for the state of the African diaspora. He is also the inventor, if you will, the originator of the LUMI, and who better than him to talk to us today about the dynamic potential of this digital currency, which can transform not just our lives in this moment of need, as so many of us are facing individual economic challenges amidst the pandemic, but also by great extension, Africa, the continent, straight across the board, and with a truly huge plan in mind that could change the course of all lives on our beloved continent. Let's go now to Chief Timothy McPherson, who is the president of the African Kingdoms Federation. Chief Timothy.
Am I being visualized? Greetings, Deandra. Thank you for the very pleasant introduction. Your Imperial Majesty, Queen Sheba III, our dear Prime Minister, Louis Georges Tin, all members of SOAD, ladies and gentlemen, members of the African family, a wonderful, wonderful good afternoon to you. You know, this is a business summit, and it's a business summit like no other, because it is a business summit that for the very first time in history, and I'm not exaggerating that statement, for the very first time in history, we have people of African descent from all around the planet sitting in their respective geographical places, right? Talking about doing business together using our own global currency. Now, I've touched upon a variety of points in that statement, because the fact of the matter is, today's technology allows us to be sitting in Jamaica, to be sitting in Germany, to be sitting in Zimbabwe, to be sitting in China, to be sitting in France, to be sitting anywhere on this planet. And first and foremost, having virtual conferences like this on the one hand, and second of all, to have products and services that can be delivered via post. You know, I see these days going crazy over Amazon and Alibaba, right? So you just sit at home, you pick up your little phone there, you order something, and next thing you know, the next day, you got something coming to your door. You don't even go to the store anymore, right? That's the world that we live in today, or at least some of us in any case. But here's an important nuance to it. We didn't create this dynamic. There's nobody in this group who created the smartphone, right? There's nobody in this group who created the computers that we're using. And what that means is that business is gonna happen whether you're ready for it or not, right? The global economy is going to go forward. Now, we've been very successful competing in the world of sports. We have the fastest man in the world. We have the best golfer in the world. We have the greatest basketball player, the greatest football player. Whatever sport it is, you just know that we got the greatest. We even got the greatest tennis players in the world now. So we've learned to excel in all of those fields. But what we have failed to do in the last 400 years, because of this thing called, well, you know, call it what you will, call it captivity, call it colonialization, doesn't matter. We haven't been able to excel. But now we have an opportunity before us to excel again. And in order for us to do that successfully, we must be strategic. Because the fact of the matter is, the competition is not going to wait for you to catch up. The competition will keep going forward. And so we have to up our game. Whether policies and legislation is in place or not is actually quite irrelevant. We have to up our game. Now, one thing that I recognized with my 20 years experience in the European banking scene and in the German banking scene is that money is an engineered instrument. And after spending so much time around German bankers, I came to recognize they really are the greatest engineers on the planet. They've engineered everything you could imagine, from cars to washing machines, and they've also engineered money. And then I've also come to recognize that our people in this era of colonialization have not been able to successfully engineer money. But historically, our ancestors were very good at that. Our ancestors created the greatest economies on the planet. And so now, as the global African family begins to look to one another again, our objective must be to create of ourselves the greatest people that we can be, so that our economies become the greatest economies that we have ever imagined or can create. And the LUMI, and I say it in all humility, the LUMI is a crucial instrument to get us there. Deandra, am I able to share my screen here? Can I do a quick presentation? I know that everybody's probably seen the basic PowerPoint on the LUMI, but I do want to take a few seconds to just go through this because it's important.
I agree. I think so. Yes, go ahead, Chief. Thank you.
I'm being told here that you've disabled screen sharing. Can you activate it again, please?
Okay. Honorable Dennis, our Minister of Communications, are you able to activate screen sharing for us at this time?
Let me help. I'm sure I can
Just
do
make
it.
him a host and you'll be able to do it. Make him a host.
Okay.
I'll do it. Take care of that.
Done. It's done.
It's done. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you kindly. Thank you kindly. So I hope everyone is now able to see my screen.
Yes, Chief.
Splendid.
Yes.
You just have to run the presentation.
In this era, as it were, I see what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Let's go slide shorter.
Yeah, that's it.
In the fourth industrial revolution, which Her Imperial Majesty so correctly calls the reset, and which we all now experience as a reset, we must recognize that nobody is waiting for us, right? They have their own agenda, and it is important for us not to be followers of anyone else's agenda, but to have our own agenda, and at the same time, to recognize what is going on at the global stage. Now, this reset incorporates a technical revolution that is fundamentally changing our society, the way we work, live, and interact together. It is a global phenomenon that is impacting the public sector, the private sector, and all of civil society. It is not a thing of the future. It is the here and the now. The competition may be telling you that it's in the future, but the fact of the matter is that all innovations are going on currently, and we must be on top of this. At its center is a digital revolution that merges topics such as artificial intelligence and the relation between digital, biological, and physical spheres. And of course, money is at the forefront of all of this. And we are all in the money business. We are business people. There we go. I'm having difficulty, I apologize. There we go. Central banks around the world are quickly rushing to establish their own digital currency to integrate the facilitation of both domestic and global economic transactions within this fourth industrial revolution. We know that in the Caribbean, Barbados has already created a digital currency. The Eastern Caribbean community has also created a digital currency. But most of the talk on the stage of the global community is geared toward China's digital renminbi, which is fine. The competition is entitled to talk about itself. But the fact of the matter is, in position number 1 is the LUMI, not the Chinese digital renminbi. China has not officially as yet left her borders with her digital currency. It's going to come soon. It's going to sweep over the entire global community. But the fact of the matter is, LUMI is in position number 1. The African family right now, whether you know it or not, is leading the race in global digital central bank currencies. This is evidenced by the fact that the LUMI is currently circulating in some 74 countries around the world. As the official currency for the economic community, both of the 6th region and for the African Kingdoms Federation, not only is the LUMI being used within the diasporic community, it is also now being used across the entire continent of Africa. Our kings and queens have adopted the LUMI as their de facto continental currency, and that's why the full name of the LUMI, by the way, is African Kingdom LUMI. Can
you please
ask
switch your
someone
mics
to
off,
mute
please?
their mics?
Bear with me, Chief. I'll get all the mics switched off.
Thank you. Thank you. So, in grasping the spirit of Kwame Nkrumah, who said, true Pan-Africanism happens in the space of the economy, we now have our own dedicated monetary instrument that allows us to do exactly that. And what's crucial to remember about the LUMI, why not only are we in the leadership position, but why we will maintain that leadership position for years and decades and generations to come, is because of this crucial dynamic within its structuring. It is the difference between fiat money and non-fiat money. And I like to use here the elementary school definition of fiat money because it's easiest to understand. And that definition states this: fiat money is a government-issued currency, a medium of exchange that is not backed by a commodity such as gold, silver, or energy, and has absolutely no real intrinsic value whatsoever. The US dollar, the euro, the British pound, all of these currencies are fiat money. Since the gold standard was abandoned, these currencies have basically been paper that has been circulating with the same imagined value as when the gold standard was there, but in truth, they have absolutely no value whatsoever. They're not even worth the paper that they're written on. In contrast, non-fiat money is known by its functionality, and it has three primary functions. It is a medium of exchange, it is a unit of account, and it is a store of value. Now, as the world is competing to create its digital currencies, if you continue to use a fiat model, it doesn't matter whether you have paper or whether you have digits, because as we can see here, one fiat digital currency as a medium of exchange still has absolutely no store of value and still has no unit of account. And it cannot be a unit of account because it's not storing any value. So all it is a digit on the computer screen that has absolutely no value to it, whether it's a US dollar or whether it is the Ghanaian CD, they will both say 1.000. I'm sorry, can we mute these mics? They will both say 1.000 and have the same worthlessness. When we contrast that to non-fiat digital currency, we see that it is a medium of exchange representing one. And of course, in the case of the LUMI, it is a store of value at 4 grains of gold and 100 kilowatt hours of energy. And it's also thus a unit of account at one, or rather an account of gold as well as an account of energy. And so consequently, when people say to me, shall we change the LUMI into fiat? The question that I'm always asking is, why would I allow our valuable currency that has real assets backing it to be converted into nothing? This is precisely how Africa has been raped and robbed for the last, well, ever since the fiat standard was adopted. Because you had goods, real gold, real diamonds, real rubies, real sapphires in Africa being purchased with fiat money. Now, in terms of its general valuation, to appreciate what's being stated here, we see that one LUMI is 100 kilowatt hours of solar energy. And that 100 kilowatt hours is underwritten at 4 grains of gold, or 0.2592 grams of gold. And those 4 grains of gold have a market value of 15.96 cents, which means that without question, the LUMI is the strongest currency in the world today. And it is also the most widely dispersed digital currency in the world today. It's not intended to replace energy trading. Many people misunderstand that. They think we simply want to trade in energy. Yes, it is underwritten with solar energy. And because liquid organic hydrogen allows us to store and transport solar energy in the exact same way that oil and gas is stored and transported, we can do that. But the function of energy in the LUMI is to establish its underlying value as a premium currency in the global marketplace. And the fact of the matter is, there is no other premium currency on the planet today. The US dollar is a worthless fiat. The Jamaican dollar is a worthless fiat. The British pound is a worthless fiat. They are just paper with nothing standing behind it. And so now, as we, the diaspora, re-engage the continent in this new era of economic transformation and development, we must be highly strategic. And so in circulating the LUMI, to bring us to the next level of economic performance that we must reach, in addition to the $100 a month that is being circulated for civil society to sustain us during this COVID-19 economic collapse, we are now also offering a corporate economic stimulus. This LUMI economic stimulus for corporations will come in the form of a line of credit reflecting 100% of your 2019 sales totals, with 0% interest for the next 3 years. What that means is that whatever your business was able to achieve in 2019, which is pre-COVID, whatever sales you were able to achieve is indicative of what you can achieve during a normal economic environment. And we understand that right now this is no normal economic environment and that you require assistance. And so this line of credit, without any interest, is being offered to help you float your business and integrate LUMI into your overall economic model. The key criteria for eligibility is that you must have 90% African product supplier base. Now, by African product, we in the diaspora—
Hi, can anyone hear this?
We hear you fine, yes. We in the diaspora are also part of Africa. So when I say 90% African product, I'm including all of the Caribbean in that statement. When I say 90% African product, I'm including all of Brazil in that statement. When I say 90% African product, I am talking about any African business or from people of African descent, whether you're in USA, in Canada, in Europe, or anywhere on God's green planet Earth. The next criteria is that within your business model, you must accept LUMI for payment. And not only accept LUMI for payment, but also work to integrate LUMI into your business framework. What this will help us do is break that terrible cycle that Prime Minister Tin referred to earlier when he made the statement that within the African American community, dollars only stay in that community for about 5 and 6 hours. And then it's gone again. It's gone to KFC, it's gone wherever. By operating in LUMI, we keep our economics within our community. And we now have a robust currency that allows us to do all of those transformative activities that previous generations have only dreamt about. We are standing on the shoulders of many at the moment. Marcus Garvey dreamed of having a day today like today. Malcolm X dreamed of having a day like today. Martin Luther King dreamed his great dream of having a day like today in which we could economically control our own destiny. There are many, many who have laid the foundation over these last 400 years of captivity so that we can be having this very discussion today. And so now that we have this economic opportunity before us, we must grasp it with both hands and run without turning back. Thank you kindly. I apologize for having gone over my time, and I will return the mic back to you, Deidre.
Thank you, Honorable Chief. Always so enlightening, and I believe a lot of questions are going to come, but a lot of answers have definitely been provided in your presentation. Very thorough and quite powerful. We have people from all across the world who are joining us, just to mention a few of those countries: Zambia, Zimbabwe, the Republic of Togo, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands, North Carolina and the United States, Burundi, all in the room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We move now to another series or set of really outstanding presenters. And these individuals, or rather this individual, is going to show us how we actually get the LUMI, which is the big deal at this point. As I mentioned in the opening, 6 trillion LUMI has been made available through stimulus. And as you've just heard from the chief, even more LUMI is made available in an incentive for businesses that will come on board as we expand this world-class currency. Dr. Linus is with us from SWIFIN. Dr. Linus, we turn the floor to you as you take us through how we sign up for the LUMI and how we access our line of credit. Dr. Linus, are you there? Okay, we will move then on to Pastor Audi Cummings and Sorville Kiana. They are representing Black Links Global. Black Links Global has, just as it sounds, oh, there we go. How are you? How are you doing? Okay, and we have Black Links Global definitely on board already with a network of Pan-African, African companies in a movement that we can attach ourselves to, and which definitely can embrace and has embraced the concept, the idea of the LUMI. So many of us here today are interested in finding out more, and so we turn the floor over to Pastor Audi Cummings. And you are joined by your colleague, Sorville Kiana. Welcome, gentlemen, to the first LUMI Summit. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I would like to say a big thank you for all the presenters that have come before me. And it's really excellent, it's marvelous. And I must admit, I feel like we're part of a transformation that's taking place worldwide, especially as the audience that are present today come from all across the globe. My name is Sorville Kiana. I'm Minister of the Commercial and Corporate Affairs of the State of African Diaspora. I'm based in London, UK, but I also come in the capacity of trustee of Black Links Global, and together with my colleague, Pastor Cummings, who's a global ambassador for Black Links Global. And without taking up too much time, I'd like to give people a quick overview about what Black Links Global is all about. And for that, I'm going to need to share my screen and to show a short video that's less than a minute. And then hopefully I can hand over to Pastor Audi Cummings. So let me make use of the share screen function. Right, bear with me. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. And just for those who have never seen it, this is Black Links Global. It's an online directory covering all of the continents of the world. And here we are. You go on it, you click on the countries, on the continents, it will take you to the individual countries. We're currently across 200 plus countries. We work strongly with the state of the African diaspora and give them maximum support. Here are a few of the familiar faces, the decision makers and the people that are driving the state of the African diaspora forward. And I take my hat off to them because what they're doing is monumental. What we have here are a few of the links that people can use to access more information about the state of the African diaspora and Echo 6. And the last one here, Claim Your Financial Stimulus, will take you to a page where there's more information about how to claim your stimulus. Next, you can see our glorious ambassador, Pastor Adi Cummins. His name is synonymous with being an activist within the Black community. And so he's well known, and right now he's promoting and positioning Black Links to be heard worldwide. What I'm going to do now is to play this very short video, which will give you a good overview of what Black Links Global is all about.
Breaking news. Black Links celebrates its 20th year anniversary as it expands globally. Black Links is the #1 directory for Black-owned businesses, organizations, and events. Get promoted and seen for free. Yes, free. Get even more promotion with videos, images, and audios in the fully interactive iDirectory and iMagazines. Black Links is the best way to discover Black-owned businesses and events. Visit Black Links now at www.blacklinks.global.
There we have it. And in keeping with what Pastor Timothy has mentioned, I just want to mention that we are now integrating Black Links into the SOAD website with a view to marrying some of the services and the resources that we've got. And to that end, when we talk about what can be done in the distribution of the LUMI globally, and the idea of being able to exchange the LUMI for products and services, we will have a marketplace that can be used by one and all. And on this marketplace will be the ability for businesses to be able to upload their products and for sales to take place in the LUMI. So this is something that's coming along in the future, the very near future, along with a lot of other brilliant incentives that we've got planned. And now, let me hand over to our ambassador, Pastor Adi Cummins. And so let me quit sharing the screen, and it's back to you, Pastor.
Thank you very much, Minister Kiano. And I just wanted to open by just thanking you for excellent introduction, and all those speakers that have got on before. That is Prime Minister Tim, monumental greetings. Also to Imperial Majesty Queen of Sheba III, and Chief McPherson, and Dr. Swiffen, for such an excellent expositive understanding of his monumental achievement to enable us to be able to have this really superior currency in our hands. And of course, to our esteemed audience that is making this possible. And in terms of my opening of what I've been asked to contribute today, it will be on the main, be on the topic, which is promoting the LUMI to Black Links network. What we, in a sense, have seen in terms of what's gone on before about the currency, how it works, the superiority against the fiat, and a little bit about how other currencies are failing and how the LUMI has been able to exploit this. And above all, to be able to place the LUMI opportunity and currency into your hands. This is, I believe, not to be underestimated in regards to the gargantuan responsibility that each and every one of us has here today, including myself. individual buy. Once we buy individually to the LUMI, then we know entire family is able to buy into the LUMI, and the cyclical economic effect of the community is able to be oiled and greased with a black currency that will enable what we have heard today, the distressing fact that we will no longer have the hemorrhage of our currency being only 5 to 6 hours remaining in our community. This is significant, not only because round about now it's 100 years since what people term as the Black Wall Street or the Greenwood community that was tragically demolished in the US and Florida, but it's also a period where we're able to pick up that baton. We're able to rise from the ashes of these circumstances and economic challenges that we have, because economics is very fundamental to all that we do. Without the economics, how can families run? And so the main three institutions, which are family and family, one of them, and governance, which we have, community, we're able to drive forward with this financial benefit that we can share. The exciting aspect about using the LUMI and having the pride that we have a Black sovereign, a Black global currency that will move into the diaspora, that will enable us to be seen for our potential as opposed to our previous colonialistic suppression. This is the transformation, the global transformation that we are privileged to be a part of right now. And I really just wanted to say there are three types of people that we can be. We can be the person that watches things happen. We can be the person that wonder what the heavens has happened. Or we can be the person who takes the currency of the LUMI and makes it happen. This is what this is about. This is an ignition, injection of a conference for the attendees to know that they are very much participants wherever you are globally, that you can access the LUMI on the platform, and that you are able to be a participant of collectivism. Lots of people doing a little, making a fantastic much. And this is the impact that our Prime Minister and Sovereign, and all those you have heard and are about to hear, are empowering us with. And so we are, for the first time, no longer frustrated, but we are elated at the opportunity that will enable the first foundation of any society and any kingdom, which is finance and economics. And it's upon that wise that we all know that what drives an economy within those communities is culture. We know a community by their culture. And we pretty much know, according to the culture or the nationalities of the people that we're dealing with, we'll pretty much have a predictable type of merchant that will be operating their offerings in that community. And so we can accept and understand that certainly culture drives commerce. And do we have a strong culture? Of course we do. And so we are participants in this Olympic effort, that where each event of business within the merchant offering of each operator that moves forward is able to take their place to enable us as a Black community to be able to be where economically we know we can be. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to if you've not already picked up the infectious excitement that I have for this currency, as we know the Pan-Africanist vision of Marcus Garvey in the early 1900s, that has planted a seed that we are able to pick up, and we're able to run with this, and we're able to plant this seed. Because in every seed of adversity that we will have in terms of moving this forward, we know there's going to be a seed of equivalent and greater benefit for our families, for our communities, for our dignity. And the issues that we politically always hearing us as victims will transform us into absolute victors. We do have victory with the LUMI. And Black Links Global, as an ambassador for Black Links Global, which is a directory, as you've seen, that's been going for 20 odd years, and you may have come through that membership channel today, or maybe prospective concerning taking up that membership, or you're looking at the business enterprise opportunity of a 0% actual loan to drive your business that you may have thought was a figment. But now you can not only be able to access the LUMI for this particular type of economic injection that most businesses need to get going, but you're also to see the wealth of support, African support, Black African support that is behind us. Yes, motivating us, supporting us. So in order for that cyclical motivation and motor to be able to move in our economies and our families, we need effort. And the exciting thing about being somebody involved with the currency in terms of using currency merchant LUMI offerings is that your recommendations that you make through the excitement that you see I have, that you're able to transfer onto others, is able to become infectious and be translated into an economic benefit for you. So no longer do you have to look at multi-level marketing or whatever, not saying this exactly the same, but you're able to gain a financial benefit for your recommendation of your country's LUMI, which is the second biggest population award of 350 million. That is exciting, very exciting indeed. And so what people are going to start to see, they're no longer going to see us as Black people who are victims, but as our previous examples in history have shown us, be it Malcolm X or Martin Luther King or Walter Rodney, whoever, we are able to now directly show in the present of 2021 that we are an economic consideration to be reckoned with in our communities. And so it is that we are now first time able to have the correct blood of DNA economics running through the veins of our community, igniting the organisms and the organizations that are around us and are able to receive what we so definitely need over the hundreds of years. This is monumental and it's gargantuan, and it's something that we are able to call our own. And so we expect as Black people with a dynamic African diaspora and African DNA to show them how it works. Because for the first time, we're able to put our own identity on it with our own sovereign, our own Prime Minister support, Black Links Global, scaling, moving forward, teaching entrepreneurial skills to students who are within the educational institutions, using the apps to exchange money, because many of our children have to consider entrepreneurialism. And the French definition of entrepreneurialism is going about with very little to achieve much. But now you have much, not just little. And so it is that loads of people doing a little makes a lot. So SOAD, State of African Diaspora, Black Links Global, demonstrating what has always been said that Black people cannot do. Here it is right in front of you. And so it is that you can take your rightful place in history as you look forward to the future, driving and gathering our people. And there was a scripture that came to me prophetically in terms of where we're at. And it says in Jeremiah 29, okay, verse 10 to 14, it says, I will be found by you, and I will bring you back from your captivity. I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places where I have driven you. I will bring you to the place from which I caused you to be carried away captive. And about you, but my parents came from Jamaica. And when they came, they didn't want to come to England. And I think the words were, when they came, all they saw was dotty black brick when they were told of this goal that they were going to achieve. But all I see here as a descendant of descendants that have gone on and made blood sacrifice for where we are able, and we have an obligation and a responsibility and indeed a duty. So if you can feel me, then I say that they have not seen nothing yet. Black Links Global, here we go. The partnership, the marriage, the relationship, working together with all of these people and many more behind the scenes are backing you up as we hand the baton over to you and praying you up. We're expecting you to hit the ground running, as the chief has said. Thank you for this opportunity and privilege. And hopefully this will be a regular frequency of interactions with war stories of success, economic success. We can put our children and our wives and our families, the lifestyle that this LUMI is allowing many of us to have. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Imperial Highness, Prime Minister, Speaker, Moderator, Chief, I hand it back over to you.
And what else do you say to a pastor except amen? Amen, Pastor Cummings. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I feel like I done been to church. Oh, truly passionate, truly, I'm going to borrow some of your words, a monumental moment, a gargantuan moment, and I like this one the best, an Olympic effort, where we go from being victims to victors due to the wealth and support we can gain through Black Links Global. Congratulations, 400 companies around the world connected. This is fantastic. So we can hear that we have a great family already established, and all we have to do is get on board. And so that's why we're going to shift. Before we actually shift to our next speaker, I'm going to ask you at this time, let's go old school, get your pencils, get your pen, your books, because we're actually going to learn how to access our LUMI. We're going to learn how to get our money. We're going to learn how to do that. So please prepare yourself for that. We just want to say welcome and thank you for joining us. We now are at 143 participants. Some countries not mentioned earlier. We want to say thank you and welcome to South Africa. Lesotho is represented, Malawi, Mozambique, Jamaica, London, Namibia, and Botswana, all in the room from around the world, 145 strong at this moment, as we prepare for our next speaker. Dr. Linus of Swiffin is going to talk to us about how we sign up for the LUMI and how we access our line of credit. Dr. Linus, welcome. Thank you. I know Dr. Linus is there. I think I saw him just pop up. Are you hearing us clearly, Dr. Linus? In case you're just joining us, as maybe he works out some technical challenges, you are a part of the inaugural LUMI Business Summit. Hi, Dr. Linus, is that you?
Yes, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I think we can all hear you. Mr. Prime Minister, can you hear him? Nod for me. Yes, there he is.
Yes. Right.
Hello, Dr. Linus. Welcome, welcome. We are eagerly anticipating your presentation, and so, sir, go right ahead.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure. Your Imperial Majesty, Your Excellencies, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. After that presentation by Pastor Cummings, anyone can be very excited. I mean, it really brings all this home. And perhaps if one is so close to this and you're looking at it almost every day, you don't really realize the magnitude of what we are doing. But we are at the cost of making history, of bringing about a significant level of transformation that will change millions of lives across the continent. And that will change the narrative for Africa and the African diaspora. Before I start, I have to extend my very thanks to Chief Timothy, the chairman of the Central Bank of Akompong and of the ECO6 region for insight in coming up with the LUMI in the structure that it has. And I'm sure he spent quite some time talking about that. I'm not going to go into any detail, but it's a phenomenal currency that we all have to embrace to start the process of collectively transforming the continent and capturing the opportunities that are in front of us. Now, I have, if you would allow me, I have a number of short video clips that I can just play, if that's all right, and then I will talk through them. Is that okay?
Yes.
Now, if I try and share my screen and the sound is not coming out all right, please just tell me and I will stop it immediately, okay? But let me have a go. If I'm able to share my screen, I'll do that. Thank you. Are unpacked. According to recent World Bank data, there are over 1.7 billion people unbanked worldwide. In some countries within continental Africa, over 80% are unbanked. This means vast numbers of the 1.3 billion people across the continent are not able to effectively participate in the real economy. The result is poverty and misery for millions. Businesses and individuals are now faced with the biggest wealth creation opportunity the African continent has ever seen, through the introduction of the African Continental Free Trade Area, the AfCFTA. Given the challenges of financial inclusion across the continent, there is an unprecedented opportunity to use innovative technology which brings together individuals, communities, financial institutions, and businesses into a real-time transaction ecosystem. We must operationalize the AfCFTA to unlock the opportunities that the AfCFTA brings. We must ensure access to all, and we must address the more than 40 or so different local currencies across the continent which remain a huge impediment to trade. Welcome to the SWIFT platform and the ECO6 LUMI. The future is now. Okay. I will also go to another one. I'm going to play another one. Was the sound okay?
Yes, sir. The sound was
Yes,
perfect.
fine.
It was perfect. Okay, now I'm going to play another clip which goes through the registration process. The reason I'm doing this is so that if there is anyone online on this call who has not created either their individual accounts or their business accounts yet, then that should give them a pretty good, simple picture on how they can do it. Again, it is a very short clip. It's less than 2 minutes long. of that and close that. Thank you very much. I hope everyone saw that. Now, very quickly, I will show you a very quick, once you've registered for your account, of course, there is, there is an app that you can install, and you can do most of your transactions on that app. It looks like this when you log in. But before I show you how to do a transaction on the app, and I will just take a volunteer on the group who is on this conference, and I'll just do a quick transaction to them so that you can see. Anybody who has an app can just give me their name when I get there and I can show you. But let me go through a few slides here, if that is okay, again. And I always like talking about this particular slide here, this one. Traditional banking as we know it is based around building branches, using core banking technology to deliver payment services, enabling movement of money from one account to another. The typical idea is to give the customers devices, whether these are POS devices or bank cards, Visa and MasterCard typically, that provides the mechanism for an individual to exchange a payment with a merchant. Now, we all know the facts, and we all can relate to the statistics. I grew up in a small village where I watched my own family members travel for miles to go and withdraw money from their cash, from their bank accounts in the cities, because banking services were not really accessible to everyone. And that is the reason why in some countries in Africa today, even as we speak, 80% of people still remain unbanked. We have the capacity to change that in our time, and we must start doing it now. So what is the solution? The solution is to use something that is fundamentally different, something that approaches banking and the delivery of financial services from a completely different perspective, but using technologies that are well established. And one of those is to use something in the form of an exchange. And what is an exchange? An exchange is really an open ecosystem of an open banking ecosystem, which enables financial institutions, central banks, governments, government departments, international agencies, individuals like you and I, businesses, to all come onto the exchange. And once you are on that exchange, you are a member of the exchange. And you can now start actually trading and exchanging value with everyone else on that exchange. And that everyone else are businesses, banks, central governments, and so forth. Now, integrated in the exchange itself is the ability to really exchange value. But we're not just talking about exchanging value in the old traditional way, but exchanging value in real time. Many of us here know that if you are in South Africa and you want to send a payment to somebody in Nigeria, the chances are, if you find a method of doing it, you'll be relying on an institution in Europe that then sends money into Nigeria, or something like that. But if you go through the traditional banking system that relies on SWIFT, then it might take 2 or 3 days for the money to actually get there. But if you create an ecosystem where the participants, economic participants, are members of the exchange, and each one is trading on their own account, then you enable the opportunity for this to happen in real time. And so the first video clip that I showed, which looked at the possibility of unlocking value for the African continental area, which is now operational, is that we need a different kind of financial transaction ecosystem. That brings individuals, businesses, financial institutions into one real-time transaction exchange, which enables that to happen in real time. Now, if we adopt the LUMI as the de facto transacting currency across the continent, then the Africa Free Trade Area becomes a reality today. It is already a reality for some of us who are already on that exchange. And so the video clip that I showed is how do you get on? It's on YouTube. You can again just refer to it, but I'm sure many of us are already familiar with it. Now, why is that important? It is important because we want to create a world where you can have multiple financial institutions within the same ecosystem, and the customers of each of those financial institutions can actually transact directly with each other in real time, without delays and without relying on a third party to execute their transaction. They can all do it from the comfort of their own homes, from their mobile apps, wherever they are. Because 80% of people are unbanked, it needs to be accessible. That's the way that we operationalize the African Continental Free Trade Area, bring in the 80% or so unbanked population so that everyone can now begin to participate in the new digital economy, so we can begin to impact and transform communities and the economies across the continent. So it needs to be accessible. And so there are online channels, mobile apps, SMS, QR code, where you can just point your QR code and scan. And this creates opportunities for our community to be truly connected and to keep that money circulating within the economy for as long as is necessary to create the vast amounts of wealth that need to be created across the continent and the African diaspora in order for us to transform our economies. So we're talking about something that has to be accessible and inclusive. Inclusive without regard to class, without regard to rank. So that's where we are, and that's what the SWIFT platform provides. The LUMI, we have designed the LUMI within the SWIFT platform to be really, 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 truly revolutionary in the way that you can use it to execute payments across Africa now. We have made it possible in such a way that if you are traveling around Africa and you are in Ghana, or let's say you're in Nigeria, for example, and you walk into a restaurant, they can give you your bill in the local Nigerian Naira, and you can go into the app, you select Nigerian Naira, you put the amount in Nigerian Naira, and when you submit, the system will automatically work out what the equivalent that needs to be transferred in LUMI for your Nigerian Naira bill to be settled in real time. And so it works out the equivalent in LUMI, and that transaction then gets done. And you can do that when you go to the 6 countries within the Central African CFA zone. You can do that within the 8 countries that are within the West African franc CFA zone. And essentially, you can do that wherever you are and wherever you travel around the world as you interact with businesses and making your payments. So that is the kind of transformation that we're looking at. That is the kind of transformation that we all have access to right now. In terms of businesses getting access to the stimulus, we're going to make it possible in such a way that when you log into your account, you can just draw down. There will be 2 accounts. Right now, you have the LUMI account. We're going to create a LUMI credit account so that you can just draw down that account and use it. So you know exactly how much you borrowed or how much credit you are using. And that way, if you want to pay back at any time, you can just make a transfer and pay it back. And I understand that that credit line will be available to businesses and merchants and entrepreneurs during the time of the stimulus. On the stimulus itself, this has already been scheduled for distribution. The next payment will go out unfailingly tomorrow, which is the 28th of January, and it is scheduled to go out on the 28th of every month. We've already run for 4 months. Tomorrow will make it the 4th. So there are 32 months left. Now, unfortunately, if you miss a payment, you don't get it back. You just wait and get the next one. So I would encourage everyone to sign up as quickly as possible so that the stimulus that is being paid out is really taken and it can be used for the purpose that it is intended. So I'm going to stop there, and I can take some questions if that is allowed. And then I'm going to do a quick demo, which should take no more than 2 minutes. Is that okay?
Yes, what I would recommend, Dr. Linus, is because we do have a Q&A segment,
Yes.
that you just continue to your video.
All right, okay, I should just, I continue to the demo.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to, look, if I'm fiddling with my screen, just be patient with me. I have a number of things open on my screen, and sometimes my laptop is playing up. So I'm going to just get out of that. Now, I'll show you here the app, and I will also try and bring the online version. We also do have the SMS channel, and the SMS channel is really simple. You send one SMS, just like you would send a WhatsApp message, and you can make a payment, and you can request a payment. It is basic, but it can allow you to actually transact, again, in real time, just by sending one SMS. And it's been configured in such a way that it works with any mobile phone that is connected to any mobile network anywhere in the world. So when you're traveling and you want to send a payment or send some money to mom, you can just do that and authorize it right from your phone. You don't even need internet access. But to log into the online platform, you go to platform.swiffen.com. And I'm just going to log in with a test account on the left, on the right-hand side online, so you can see the experience for somebody who is using the system online. And I can log in on the left in the app, again with another account. I'm just going to use this one.
And Dr. Linus, whilst you're logging in,
yes,
if people can see those items at the bottom, those are items that are being sold in LUMI. So if you go, those are the latest items that were put up.
That's absolutely correct. Thank you, Brother Sevius, for mentioning that. There is a marketplace, okay, for merchants and for people who want to sell and reach the millions of people within continental Africa and the African diaspora. So if you go to marketplace, when you log in, you click on advertisements, and you want rice, you just type rice, and rice will come up. Okay, this is a bag of rice that is being sold for 5.62 LUMI. People have already started trading and buying these items. We have a number of merchants in Uganda already who are trading and doing this, and there are others in other parts of the world who are doing this. So the experience, I wasn't actually going to go through the experience of buying an item, but it's actually quite simple. So if I want to buy this, all I need to do is add it to my shopping cart. Okay, I then go to my shopping cart, which is here. The item would be there. That's the rice. I can then check out. I'll put my basic information that's required. I do next. Now, if I want to submit this order, I just click confirm. You see how easy it is? Now, the moment I click confirm, this order will go to the merchant. And when they approve it, obviously, there will be instructions on where I can collect the item or how they can deliver it and so forth. But for the merchants who are interested in using this part and this functionality of the platform, we're going to be publishing some quick videos on how to create and load products onto your website. The vast majority of people who have had their accounts for some time already know how to do this. It's fairly straightforward. But that's how a simple purchase transaction works. I'm not going to go through there. I'm just going to go through a simple payment transaction, okay? Because you can call somebody up, they have an item they're selling, you agree on a price, and you just pay them. So let's do that. Online, I'm going to send a payment to, if you go to the dashboard, you can simply just click here, pay. Now, if I want to pay, is there any volunteer? I can send some LUMI.
Yes, you can send it to Mike in Jamaica.
Mike, what's your Swift ID or telephone number? Your username that you used to log into the system, what is it?
Well, my username is Mike S. Barrett.
Mike,
M-I-K-E.
Mike
S.
Mike S. No, give me what's your phone number?
1-877-877.
All right, looks like I should just go with the name. What's the name? Mike
Barrett.
It's picking up. Do you know the username that you used to log in? So
yes, Mike S. Barrett.
Mike
one or two?
S. Barrett, B-A-R-R.
Okay, that's the one. Is that the one?
Yes, that's it.
That's it. Okay, good. So when you start typing, the system picks the name up, but you have to type very quickly. I know it can be frustrating, but you need to enter the details quickly. Otherwise, you just copy and paste. Okay, but the best way to make payments is to use this 16-digit code, which is the Swift ID. We call that the Swift ID. So if you use that, it doesn't give you any trouble at all. So let me copy that, and I'm going to go to make payment again, and I'll just paste it here. Okay, it picks up the name, no problem. So I'm going to send 0, because I might be making a few payments to other people. I'm going to send 0.25 LUMI to Mike. Now, what I was explaining is that I can choose that this payment goes in the African Kingdom's LUMI, which is AKL, that's the default, because I've selected that account. If you are doing this for a business transaction and there is an invoice or a document that you need to attach, you can click this button and attach a document to the payment so that the recipient receives both the payment and the document. You can also schedule this payment so that it takes place right now, or you can set it to take place whenever you want in future. You can even make the payment in installments. This is what we call here direct debit. So if I wanted to send 100 LUMI, and I just don't have 100 LUMI right now, but I'm happy to send 5 LUMI every month for the next 20 months, I can do that. Or if you wanted to make a perpetual payment, for example, if you are paying for an insurance contract where you're going to be repeating the payment every month, then you use this repeat payment option. We're not going to use any of that. We want to do the transaction now. And once you are happy, you simply click next, you check the details, you confirm, and it's done. It's all in real time. Mike should have that money right now. Mike, where are you?
I'm here.
Where about in the world?
Oh, I'm in Jamaica.
You're in Jamaica. Have you got it?
Let me check.
Anybody else? Just for the purpose of doing another demo while Mike checks?
Yeah, you think you can do me? I'm trying to find out because I want to do some transactions. And I want to see how it works.
It's in my notification.
It's in your notifications.
I have received the African Kingdom LUMI 0.250.
Very good. And we can take a look at that transaction. You go into, and that is a transaction right here. You click on it and it's there. So it's to Mike Barrett. That's the account I used to log in. We use this for showing transactions. And this is it. That's the amount. Now, the other thing that is happening is that for our partner financial institutions, we want customers to just we just want customers to walk in, do a transaction, and walk out. You don't need to queue up. No more queues to fill paper forms. You go to the cashier, you enter your PIN, they give you money, you walk out. That's the kind of experience. But of course, when it comes to the LUMI, it's all digital. And that's even better. There is no handling of any physical cash or notes. I know there are notes in a compound, but when you are on the exchange, all transactions remain on the exchange, and you can do and make payments to other people in real time. What if I'm a business? I'm a restaurant, I'm a bar, a petrol station, a school, a university, the tax office, the place where you go and apply for your driving license, your passport, and you need to pay for it. What do? The person receiving the payment would simply create a QR invoice. Brother Servius, may I ask you to make the payment, or anybody for that matter? Now, to make the payment that I'm about to display, all you have to do is log into your app. I have to warn you that the version that we have for iOS is very old, so don't even try using that. We're going to update it soon, but the Android version is the latest version. That's what you should install, and it's called the Eco6 LUMI app, just one word. So you go to Play Store, just type Eco6 LUMI and download the Eco6 LUMI app. So if you want to make a payment by scanning, you simply click Make Payment, you click on Scan QR Code, and then you scan, okay? Obviously, I don't have the QR code here, but I'm going to display mine so somebody else can kindly pay. And anybody in the audience can choose to pay that. So I'm going to collect a very small amount in AKL, and that amount is 0. I'm going to make it really small, 0.00256. Even though I'm saying it's really small, in some African currencies that are very weak vis-a-vis other currencies, it's still a substantial amount. So generate QR code. Now that gets displayed. Now, that's all the merchant needs to do to collect a payment. So Brother Servius, if you want to pay, please scan that. Anybody on this call who wants to make that payment can scan that, please. That's it, done. Let's see who paid. Oh, Brother Servius. I think I've just managed to log myself out. Okay, so let's take a look at the payment that came in. That's a notification. That was the payment that I collected. It was 0.000256, and it was paid by Timon Investments. Brother Servius, where are you?
South Africa, in Pretoria.
South Africa. So this is the kind of revolutionary technology that we can use now for Africa to trade within continental Africa with all the countries within Africa and also with the African diaspora. Imagine that you are in the diaspora and you have a block of flats, you have a hotel, you have a shop where you retail items. You can plug this technology in right now and start collecting your payments in LUMI. You could be sitting anywhere in the world and you'll be able to monitor all your business transactions in real time. We are talking about bringing efficiencies in trade and financial transactions like we have never seen before across the continent. So there is a lot more that can be done, but I'm not going to go through that. What I would rather do is that we spend time and go through the Q&A, and then if questions arise, which I can answer by actually doing something on the app, then we can do that. This is live, and these are real transactions. This is not a demo platform. I've logged into these two accounts because we use them quite a lot in conferences. Now, there is something else which is quite important, which I need to mention, that is under brokering. Brokering is where the agency services come in. So there are different levels of participants within the exchange. I've already mentioned that you have financial institutions. If you are a bank, then we expect that as a bank, you would apply the same very rigorous standards that are expected for KYC and AML compliance all around the world. And so we give the opportunity for that bank to onboard merchants and to onboard that can also subsequently onboard agents. And there is a commission structure that is built into the system, into the exchange, which rewards the agent for the individuals and businesses they register and bring on board, obviously under the supervision of the bank. And that would reward the merchant for the agents they bring on board, and that would reward the bank. So there is something in there for everybody. If you are just using it for your personal transactions, it's seamless, it's simple, it's real time. It's actually free, because right now, the Central Solar Reserve Bank has very kindly, during the period of the stimulus, they are covering all the exchange-related transaction fees. And so that's why if I send 1 LUMI, the person receives 1 LUMI. There is no cost applied on either end.
I apologize, Dr. Linus.
Yes.
You used the word generous, and it just tickled my tummy. And so I have the feeling that not everybody understood or was able to participate in the transaction you just did because Servius executed it. So I'm gonna request that you do one more sample transaction like that again.
Yes.
I'm going to ask everybody that is participating in this group who currently has the LUMI app on their phone to go to their app, and the first one to answer, to receive your transaction, the first one to make the transaction successful, I will transfer 100 LUMI to their account.
Wow. Okay, there you go. The race is on.
Okay, so give everybody a moment.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I want everyone to, I think, how many people? We have 163 people.
Oh my God.
So
I'm
out of
ready.
160,
I'm ready.
I want everybody to get your LUMI out. 100 LUMI, by the way, is $1,500 US. So we're gonna get this going right now. Everybody get your apps out, and the first one to respond to Dr. Linus's transaction will get a transfer from me immediately of 100 LUMI. Go ahead, Dr. Linus, make it happen.
Okay, very good. So this is the process, ladies and gentlemen, majesties and excellencies. All I'm going to do
Can everybody mic their phones, please?
I'm going to create a QR code, invoice. This is an invoice. Okay, so click that. And then I'm going to set the amount that I want to collect. This time I'm going to collect again a small amount, 0.001234.5. Okay. I'm going to put a description this time, and I'm going to say the winner gets it all. all right? And I'm going to generate that QR code, and there you go. Now, I am going to log in on the big screen online using the same account so that we can all see clearly who the winner is. All right, I'm going to just log out and I'm going to log back in because the small screen might be a bit too small for some people. So the payment went to AKL customer 1, which and I'm just going to log into that account online so that we can all see the transaction. You go to banking, that's where it all happens. These are the transactions that have come in today, and it's Kunda Watts.
Yes.
The message that I put there is this, there's a description, the winner gets it all, AKL 100.
Can you show it, please?
Yes, could we give a floor to the winner?
Yes, it's right here.
I
right
didn't
here,
even
right
sign
here.
in
Thank
yet,
you
you know.
Linus, thank you very much, man. I think you rigged
But
it.
we didn't see the winner. We went to see him.
Okay, very good.
Hello.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And we are going to be on here, and Chief Semako will make that transfer. Chief, have you taken note of the Swift ID?
No, because I can't see it. I'm not, I have, oh, I see. I have you on my screen view and not your presentation. Let me switch back to the presentation. So let me see here. So it's
winner.
Kunda Watts Umtonga. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Kunda Watts, would you like to say a few words? We need to see your face and your smile.
Yes, I'm right here. I don't know if
wait a second, because we still can see the.
Yeah, Dr. Linus, you can stop sharing.
I need to stop sharing my screen first.
Right.
Yes. So could we give the space of the floor to the winner?
Thank you so much, Linus. Thank you so much, Chief. This is so exciting. What an exciting journey it's been the last 3 months on this LUMI journey. And
sorry, could you speak closer to your microphone, because I'm thinking the sound is
guys,
very low.
can you hear me now?
Yes. So tell us your name. We already know your name, your country, and your aspiration with this LUMI. What are you going to buy?
Okay, great. Well, my name is Kunda Watts Mtonga. I'm Zambian born, but I've spent most of my life in South Africa. I grew up in the UK, and I've spent most of my life in South Africa. And I own an entertainment business called Flatline Music and Flatline Radio. It's a digital distribution music business.
Sorry, could you speak closer to the microphone, because the sound is very low? Yeah.
Sorry, I was saying I started a online digital distribution business for music and online radio. I had the honor of making music for our lovely Queen Sheba III, and part of this money I just want to use to promote the project, shoot a music video, and carry on telling the story of the LUMI, and I'm striving to be in the forefront of getting the message to the youth in cool and innovative ways. And I just think that this platform is just everything that a young African needs to really grow and strive. So for me, this is just another exciting thing. It's not. I was already excited without 100 LUMI in my account, but I'm over the moon knowing that I'm getting the support and a jump start, and the stars lining in such a magnificent way. So I've been playing on the app, and what Linus is explaining now is just magnificent. I have actually put something in on the store as well as a music pack. I don't know if I've set it up right, but I'm obviously also doing it with the aim of interacting with people and seeing what they need to buy the product and entice them in that way. So 100 LUMI will go a long way.
Well, Mr. Watts.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Watts, can I make a prophecy?
Of course you can.
Can you help me to make this prophecy happen?
Okay.
I think I know the title of your new song. I think your new song, you're going to create a song for us, and the title of which will be LUMI. Am I correct?
That's crazy that you're saying that, because I've already sent Chief Timothy a track that I did called LUMI.
Oh, so I am a true prophet then.
You are more than a true. You're psychic.
Well, I'm very happy to say to everybody that I'm a true prophet, and
Yes,
we
you
have
are.
the instrument of a prophecy, Mr. Watts. So please do not hesitate to contact us. I will share my mail with you here, and
Thank
we
you,
want to, of course, work with you and use this song to make this prophecy happen. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. That's awesome. I can't, it's awesome
Thank
that
you
you
so
managed
much,
to get
guys.
it so quickly. And I will play, before we leave tonight, I it's so ironic that you should be the first one. That's great. I will play the song. I will play. And listen, I'm making the transfer right now. So just confirm that you've received it. Have you received it?
Let me check now. Let me just go check now.
Oh, you can't do it. You can't do a screenshot, I guess. They were screenshot.
No, I can show you on my phone. Yeah, but I do see that the notification is there. And yes, Chief has sent me, Timothy has sent me 100 LUMIs, guys. This is real life stuff. I don't know if you can see there. It's cameras on my computer is not the greatest, but guys, it's there. Trust me, I wouldn't say it's there if it wasn't.
There you go.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, guys. That's amazing, man. It's amazing. So honored to be here and humbled to the max, and just want to really do great work and really make everybody proud at the end of the day.
Kunda, can I make a request?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this track that you have, you know, the short video clips that I showed you that I showed earlier on when I started my presentation.
Yes.
Some of them have some background sound on it.
Yes.
With your permission, if you send me the track, I would create instruction material for using the LUMI. Your track as a soundtrack.
I would love to send you a whole catalog to choose from, with music that relates to rebuilding the kingdom and telling the true African story. So I mean, I'm even excited to make more music. So I'll send you, just if you could just share your mail, I'll send you a whole catalog to look at, and I'm happy to take any kind of brief from anybody and just go to studio and do what I do.
And I promise to everybody that I have never seen this man before today. Nothing was arranged, nothing was prepared, or if it was prepared by somebody else or any ancestor, but I had never seen this guy before. Nothing had been arranged. There is nothing scheduled. So it's just a miracle, another miracle, I should say. And thank you very much to all of you.
Totally ironic. That's fantastic. Congratulations. That's great.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
That's great.
I have sent you my email address. It's there, posted on the group, linus.etube@swiffen.com.
Yes, and Dilaman, you also have mine. Well, it's public anyway, so for everybody, so you can also have and send it to me so that I can have your contacts. So you got Dr. Linus's contact and mine as well.
That's superb. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Excellent. Dr. Linus, have you got anything else to add before we go on to our next speakers, or is that this part of the presentation done?
I think that's me done.
All right, that's excellent.
But I want to add one thing. I want to add one
Carry on.
thing.
Yes.
And the one thing I want to add is that when our brother, Pastor Cummings, was talking earlier on, he mentioned something about a lot of people doing a little that becomes a lot. And that goes into saying that even an ocean, even though we say that a drop in the ocean is insignificant, but an ocean is made up of drops. if you really think about it. So we are faced with an unprecedented opportunity when we can all now come together. I mean, all of us. Friends, brothers, uncles, nieces, mothers, collectively together. And if we all embrace the LUMI today and start trading with it today, and say that if anybody wants to order or extract or come and take out raw materials or natural resources from continental Africa, they have to pay or they have to buy the LUMI to access it. Then we begin to take complete charge of our endowments that have been bestowed to us by nature. And we would then see an immediate transformation. I mean, immediate transformation. So every little counts, and every little will contribute immensely to that bigger vision and that bigger reality that we all want to build for Africa and for the African diaspora. So that's what I wanted to close on. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, can I add something here? Dr. Linus goes. Before he goes, would you...
Who's that speaking?
It's Saviors. May I kindly add something referring to the helpline? Because I get a lot of requests.
Sure,
and
sure.
If Dr. Linus, you can just type in the link to the Swift help, because I'm unable to respond to each and every request that I get. So there is an online help that you can log on. There's a lot of information that is there. You can log on and get the information from the website. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brother Saviors, for mentioning that. Thank you very much, because it's very important. So let me show you. So you go to platform.swiffen.com, and there is this link here on the top right, which says help. Okay. When you click on it, it opens up a whole world of information. So for example, just type how to make a payment. How do I make a payment? Okay, so that comes up. How to make a payment in African Kingdoms LUMI. That's it, online. So when you click on it, it should then give you some information, including a video. So the payment guide that I went through right now, the demo that I went through on the screen, this is an example. To make an online payment, so you can get online and log in with your username and password. Click Pay User. Enter the Swift ID of the receiver and the amount. Select the correct source. Make sure you have entered the correct receiver. Check the amount. If paying in LUMI, you can set the local currency in which the amount is specified. The underlying payment would always be in LUMI. Schedule the payment if required. Check the details and confirm. Okay, so the help portal is actually quite rich. All you need to do is type what you need. If you've lost your password, you just type password, and there will be an article there that is most relevant about password. Click on it, and it tells you exactly what you need to do to recover your password. If you are looking to start listing your products on the marketplace, just type marketplace. And there would be an article there, okay, how to search a product in the marketplace, for example. It will be there with very clear instructions on what you need to do to get what you need. We want to make this in such a way that millions of people around the world within continental Africa and the African diaspora can actually use it and not have the need to actually contact somebody for help. Now, the moment we find out, or the moment you come across the fact that there is some piece of information that would be helpful to you that is not available on the help portal, please let us know. We will commit to adding that on there and making it available to the rest of the public. And you don't even have to log in, it's all public information. Thank you very much. Brother Sevius, that was a great point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I have a question.
Hold on a sec. Hold on. Who's that speaking?
Sorry, my name is I'm the LG Monarch. Sorry about that.
Right. We're going to take questions at the end. We're going to stick to our actual agenda. We've got a couple of other presenters. I know that people have got their hands up at the moment. We've got a couple of other presenters that's got to give their presentation. We've got a section for questions. Please make a note of the questions that you've got. All our presenters will be here that you can put your questions to. But we want to try and keep to the schedule and get the presenters to do their presentation. Then the floor will be opened up for everybody else to ask their questions. My name is Dennis Phillip. I'm the Minister of Communication for SOAD. I'll be taking over the next half of this summit. Deandra has gone away. She's done a great job. I hope I can fill in for her adequately. I welcome you all, your excellencies, your majesties, your highnesses, all protocols observed. I hope you've been enjoying the summit so far. The next person we've got to speak is Dr. Cheryl Chong from SOAD, and she will be talking about incorporating how you can incorporate LUMI into your business activities. Your Excellency, Cheryl, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I would like to thank you all for inviting me on the summit so that I can share a little of my experiences in incorporating my business.
Excuse me, Minister, could you speak louder or closer to your microphone?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is this better, sir?
Yeah, that's a bit better, yes.
Okay, thank you. My challenge is that I do not know where the microphone is on my computer. So I am bringing the camera closer to me. So I hope the microphone is somewhere there. Okay, I am Cheryl Chong, and I am the Minister of Family and Social Economy. And my job is to bring the families together and to empower each family to develop family businesses and family legacies. So I will be speaking to you from that perspective today, so that each person and each family can use the LUMI to develop their businesses. And then I will go on to show how I have done it with my group of friends and my networks. So I'm going to start first with my perspective of why the LUMI and how to use the LUMI in this whole effort of building personal, individual, and family legacies. So the first thing that we need to do is look at registration, because while we have gone through this whole process and we have looked at how we can get as many people registered as possible, we have challenges because of the time it takes to register each person individually. So what we have done is set up Zoom calls where we have a recording of somebody going through and registering another person on the Zoom call. We share that screen and we send out invitations to as many people. So we decide that we are going to do this Zoom call every week. And every week we have different numbers of persons coming on. So in the space of the Zoom call, we can register as many persons. If we had this 140 odd persons on, then they could all register at the same time. So that is the way we deal with those who are in environments where they have data and have internet. We send beforehand the list of the items that they are to prepare. And so any number of persons who come on the Zoom call are able to register at the same time in their own spaces. Now, persons who have issues, we send them the helpline that Dr. Linus just taught us to do. Now, we have been looking at doing this registering for persons right around the world, and we now recognize that more of half of the persons who are eligible for the LUMI do not have access to the internet, are not able to use a phone, do not have phones. And this is especially so in the Southern African nations. So in collaboration with those nations, we have come up with two processes that we are going to be using, and in fact has been used already. The first one is in your country, you will very likely have organizations like Ecoline that sell the phones. However, the phones are given and you need to pay monthly over 6 months for the phone. And so arrangements have been made with those organizations to take payment in LUMI. And now the phones will be delivered to the group leaders who will go into the remote areas and register all those who have registration cards in their country. Those who have a registration card or a identification, national identification, and do the registration with the groups in the remote areas. And as the LUMI comes in, then they will pay for the monthly payment for the phone. The amount in those areas of the equivalent of 100 US, 50 US can buy all their food for the month. And the rest of the funds are used to send them to school, buy their whatever medications they need, and pay for the phone. And then there is some left for them to start what we call seed gardens in their environment to build an agricultural base for nurseries and for food forests for their community. So that is how we are dealing with those persons. However, there 50% of the persons who are marginalized are not registered. They have no birth papers and they have no ID. So I'm going to be having discussions with Dr. Linus how we can tackle those persons. We have already put in place arrangements to have them registered as a late registration with their governments so that they can get a registration number to put on the form. That process, however, takes months, and it leaves them outside of the reach, but I'm sure those who are listening will be able to get around this and give us a solution. The other approach has been different training institutions within the other countries, again, that have the same situation of no internet, no phones, no access to data. And in those situations, we have partnered with different training institutions to start a national and community development faculty at their training institutions, where a program of empowering and training the persons on the ground on how to use agriculture to move up the value added chain in an effort to build family legacies. Now, in both situations, persons will come in and they will be registered on central computers or on, and be given a phone as well. But the training will be done to the leaders in these schools, and then the information disseminated to the groups in the remote areas. Both arrangements have this training program on the phone, because we recommend that the first payment of LUMI be used to, one, deposit on the phone, and two, register for the NatFam training, which is going to be the empowerment tool to walk them through the process of planting, of looking to their health, of getting value-added products, and moving down the line towards import substitution and national and community development. But that's the first stage that is done. So those two are targeting the most marginalized persons so that they can develop businesses. So when we look at how we can use the LUMI in our businesses, we are not just targeting those who already have businesses, already have access, easy access to the LUMI, but we are specifically looking at those who are marginalized. And we are registering also the elderly, children who are children over 16 to 18, and then 18 up. We are targeting the elderly, and we are also targeting those with special needs because of the proliferation of vaccinations on the African continent. There has been a large percentage of persons who have special needs because of vaccinations. And so those persons will also be registered for the LUMI on their own phones by their caregivers, who are workers in SOAD and MPs and their downlines, all the persons who are operating there, so that they will have the LUMI coming in to assist them in their own care and in carrying out the programs of developing value-added products, growing and utilizing those products to not just enhance their physical health, but also to enhance their financial, spiritual health. And so before I go into the models of how we used the LUMI to advance our business, I want us to just look at the non-negotiables for wealth generation, for wealth creation, the opportunities that are a part of the training course. they are. We have to look at our end. What are we reaching towards in order? Why do we need the LUMI? And what are we going to use it to accomplish? The first of the 5 is use the LUMI as a tool for controlling all available resources for individual, family, community, and national development. But we're starting with individual and family. Use LUMI as a tool for utilization of all resources. Because first we have to control it. So with the LUMI, they can also purchase and acquire land, because we have looked at land prices in those particular areas, and it is easy to get a plot of land in some of these areas for $100 US, or its equivalent in LUMI. So we are now orienting the persons in the area. And in that area, the only means of exchange among these persons will be the LUMI, because their present means of exchange has been mostly bartering and very little of the local currency. So we're dealing with persons who are already marginalized and who are working almost like slave labor in their respective countries. So it's going to be a liberating force for those persons, not just to go to the corner shop, because there's no corner shop, but also for starting to be their own supply. It's not giving the LUMI so that we can get a fish to eat, but providing them with a means of teaching them how to use their resources to fish, to build their own economic development. So 1 is controlling, 2 is utilizing everything that is around, and 3 is investing. Focus on ownership of fundamental items. We have to focus on training persons to come away from just consumerism and look to investing in real estate, water sources, food sources, energy sources, and minerals. And of course, we know that once we get our LUMI cities up and we get our source of clean energy organized in those particular areas, we will have persons ready and already trained in how to utilize these resources. Fulfilling purpose. Now, this is probably our greatest asset, our purpose, and the fact that we now know, we see that the inclusion of melanin in our respective DNAs are what gives us the edge. And so we are going to use that edge to empower ourselves, empower our people. And of course, we cannot have a program without engaging the supernatural. And African countries and African peoples have been always engaged in being the closest to the supernatural. And it doesn't matter what type of religion we follow. The issue is that we know how to engage the supernatural, to go above and beyond in all our activities and relationships, to become a cohesive force in the earth. So just some examples of how all of this has been used with the LUMI, and I will start with my own. I'm a clinical therapist and a pneumopsychosomatologist, which means that I engage in healing the body, soul, and spirit together to reverse all known diseases. So my products are consultations, disease reversal programs, therapeutic products and books that I have written. And so I offer all of them for LUMI. Now for my, whatever I have to replace goods for at present, I am offering 50% LUMI because at the present time, I will need fiat to go back and get my raw materials. However, alongside that, all of us in our groups here are looking for sources. And this is why the marketplace, I'm so happy about the marketplace and the building out of the marketplace on the platform, as well as the support of the Black Links, because then we can go on and find suppliers from our own people. And there are suppliers for everything on earth made by our own people. We have already ordered our motor vehicles from Africa, and we're just waiting on that to come in. We looked the other day and saw cell phones and computers made in another country on the African continent. But we welcome this particular platform in terms of the Black Links, because we know that even in the North American and European space, there are lots of Black-owned businesses that supply the same items that we are now buying from other sources. So we put that together. And for the things that we are only offering, like consultations and so on, where we are using our time, then we offer that 100% in LUMI, because it is our time. We don't have to get raw materials to go back to market. And so we just welcome all the support that has been offered by all the previous speakers, because they have spoken to each area where we have been having challenges. And we know as a result of this particular summit, I mean, by tomorrow morning, we will have made 100% improvement. And we have had so many solutions today, apart from it being just really inspiring. So that is how we have used. And if you want us to look at any other industries, I will let you ask questions when the question time comes up. So thank you so much for the opportunity of sharing, and even more, the opportunity of being exposed to my brothers and sisters outside of my area. I'm from Jamaica, and I know the Caribbean, and I've been all around the metropolitan areas where there are large Caribbean peoples around the world, but I've never been to Africa. And now my life has been so enriched by the interaction of understanding the lot of those who were my ancestors and my brothers and sisters. So we want to thank all of us who are in SOAD, because now we all have an opportunity to strengthen the continent from the diaspora, and the diaspora from the continent. Ubuntu. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. That was a great presentation you gave us on how you're using LUMI in Jamaica. I hope it was really informative for me. I hope it was informative for you guys. And as Dr. Cheryl says, that she will be available to everyone at the question point. I think that we'll carry on. And our last speaker before closing today is our Vice Prime Minister, Hugh Johnson. He'll also be talking about promoting the LUMI to businesses and the civil society. So Hugh, are you there? Vice Prime Minister? Vice Prime Minister Hugh Johnson?
We cannot hear you. Perhaps you're on mute.
Are you on mute? Trying to see if I can see him on the list. He was there earlier.
Yes.
Maybe he's been okay. If we can't see him, We're at the questions section now. There are a few
I can see
people who've
you,
got.
Judson. Yes, I can see him, but I think you are on mute. You need to unmute yourself.
Yes, he is there.
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you now. You.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Thanks. I don't know what happened, but I've been on from... Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Can you hear me? May I say, Her Excellence, Chief Timothy, PM Tin, VPM Ketura, all my ministers, member of parliament, Pan-Africanist in the room. May I say it has been a privilege of mine to be in the room with you today. Presently, I'm sure our ancestors must be celebrating in their spirit. At this junction, has been my office for the last 7 years, 2 Trafalgar Road, Kingston, 6 Jamaica. And I'm sure seeing what is happening here today, Marcus Garvey was led this way for us. Is celebrating in his grave, and all the forefathers who have worked long and hard. And for that reason, we in Jamaica, we have decided to engage the business sector, the individuals, for their signing up. And I must say for that, we have embarked on an ambitious program of engaging our high school graduates, university students, to go through the remote areas, go through the streets and lane within 2 weeks to sign up as many persons as possible. Gotten those persons on board, and with the help of Dr. Linus and Servius, are going through the training program with those students to enable them to answer all the questions that may arise as they move through the streets and lane registering people. You see, a part of the forward thrust is one, in order to realize the dream of our forefathers, we must engage in the process as seeing myself, yourself, each of us as a vital link in that chain. Because SWAD has put a tremendous program together with ECO6 to roll out this stimulus across the world. And it will not happen. It will not happen by just the leaders of SWAD alone. Each of us must see ourselves as a link in that chain. And if we pledge by God's grace that the chain will not break where I stand, we'll have that strong chain to enable us to achieve the stated objective. So, as a part of that thrust also, ECO6 has pledged, and Chief Timothy spoke of it, PM alluded to it, where we are enabling our business enterprises with this 10,000 line of credit to enable them to do business post the pandemic. So, with those in mind, your full participation, your full support, because together is that come the end of March, and individuals register on that platform. And with the same plus, we are engaging the business enterprises. And if I may say, so far here in Jamaica, we have gotten taxi companies on board that if you take their taxi, you can use your stimulus to pay your fare. We have engaged gas stations, engaged radio stations to do advert as it relates to promotional endeavors for EcoSport. They have accepted LUMI as their payment. So I beg of you, put your shoulder to the wheel. Each and every one of us in our small corner, wherever we may be, each see yourself as a microcosm of the whole and be what you would like to see become of this great and noble movement. May I ask for you, your full support, your commitment, and all your resources, because we can't afford to turn back now. Too long, our forefathers have been on this journey. They have been killed, they have been assassinated, they have been sabotaged, they have been marginalized in many respects. And may I say, time come, and be it assured that you are here for such a time as this. Don't let this opportunity pass you by, that our grandchildren may say, stand tall and say, I'm proud of my grandparents. They has caused this to happen to us. All in all, may I thank you for your time, and I'm available for any question you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Vice Prime Minister Hugh Johnson, for your powerful words. And it is right now, you know, we're here, we've got the opportunity to put our shoulders to the wheel, put our minds together, great minds that we've got here today. It's a special day to promote this it's a breakthrough, you know. We've got our own currency. The responsibility is in our own hands. We've listened to Chief Timothy presenting what the LUMI is all about. Dr. Linus giving us the technical background of what's been going on. We've had Pastor Audie, Cheryl Chong, and we just heard the Vice Prime Minister talking about the different mechanisms that's available to get the LUMI out there. And as we progress, there's going to be, over the weeks of the other weeks of the different summits that we have, there are going to be people who are going to be bringing in their, you know, their success stories. We're right at the beginning of this. This is how it always starts. It starts with this a conversation like this. We start spreading the word, and let's watch this thing grow. I know there's a lot of hands up and there's some questions to be asked. We've reached the question section now, and I'm just going to take them in order as I can see them on my screen. So if you want to ask a question, if you just press your little button to put your hands up, and I'll come to you as you know, as it's listed out on my screen. So the first person I've got is Victor Serrano. Victor Serrano.
Yeah, how you doing? I wanted to see, because my question is about
before we start, can you just
hear me?
Introduce yourself, tell us where you're from and who the question is directed to.
Okay, my name is Victor Serrano. I'm Mexican American, and I'm in London. And my question is, because I want to know more about how it is that you guys can do the payments, right? Since I'm Mexican, I don't qualify, and I know I've been on this application and I've been doing this for, you know, since November, but since I'm not African, I don't get the royalties of getting the money, right? So therefore, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I'm trying to figure out how it works so I can make it do some stuff that I got going with the currency.
Okay. Does any of our presenters want to take that question?
This is not a present.
Saviors, yeah.
This is Ambassador Michael Paul Brown, an archivist for the Maroons and the.
Excuse me. I understand that. I'm asking any of our presenters want to answer that question?
I can answer it.
Address that.
Yeah.
Hello.
Let me jump in there, please. Victor, is that you?
Yes, that's me. That's me.
Greetings, Victor. We've spoken several times, Victor.
Yeah.
And I've also seen your presentations. I thank you very kindly for the submissions. And I'm also very keen on pursuing a further discussion with you as it relates to the computer manufacturing, the telephone manufacturing. So certainly, unless you're thinking of further expansion and integration, that's of course a different topic, but I mean, I'm definitely pleased with some of the things that you've proposed so far. And by the way, let's get this clear. You know, our African ancestors have been in the Americas for a very, 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 very long time, even before this thing called slavery began. So when you self-identify as Mexican, right? You know, I mean, who are the Mexicans? You see, but that's another topic. So please don't exclude yourself. We embrace our Mexican brothers, and I'm definitely keen on pursuing the conversation and the business engagement, especially as it pertains to what you're proposing with the telephones and the computers. Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, I don't mean it in the respectful way. I just didn't want to take advantage, right? Because I know that, I mean, I wanted to get it clear that I was Mexican, and now I know there's, back in the days, it all started back then, right? But I wanted to make sure that I'm not that type of person that you know, likes to take advantage of those things, right? That's why I haven't done it, but I know I've been on the platform, and I mean, I've been doing quite a few things there. So like I said, I'd be more than happy to speak to you in private, I guess, right? I just wanted to make sure that I understood, because I got some real good news, if news for you and for everybody that is on this platform.
Victor, can I give another avenue of cooperation? You know, we are open to all diasporas. This morning, for example, I can tell you as a secret. I don't know if I can have a secret in such a big audience. However, let me tell you that we are working with the Indian diaspora to create a similar institution. Diaspora is well on board. So if, for example, you wanted to create, why not, the state of the Mexican diaspora, we would welcome this initiative because we have other diasporas and we are working with them. So once more, I will give my details in the chat. And if you are interested in making an organization for the Mexican diaspora, which is huge, I would be very happy to do that with you, because we are already doing that with many diasporas in the world. It's not only you, it's the Indian diaspora and many others. So let me send my details in the network, in the chat. And if you want to send me a message on WhatsApp, I would be happy to continue this conversation also on another avenue with you.
Sure, I'll be more than happy. And I just I do a lot of stuff with the UN, and I'm in contact with like 6 or 7 countries.
Okay.
Thank you, Victor, for that. The next person, Black Links Global, wanted to add something.
For sure.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that, and thanks to
Well,
all
thank you. Thank you.
that have gone before. Sorry, was there something else that somebody wanted to say before I continue?
No, you're good. You can
Okay. I just wanted to say, definitely overwhelming, and thanks for everybody that's present. I've been seeing a few of the messages, and there's been inquiries about whether this is going to continue. I'll say that this is repeated every fortnight, every Wednesday. And it is a joint collaboration between SOAD and Black Links. And and we are making this platform available for anybody that wants to promote the LUMI and that's got access to a community and would like to make use of either webinar facilities or conference facilities. And if I could share my screen, then I'll take you to the site where you're able to make use of this functionality. Let me just see if I can share my screen quickly. Just bear with me. Sorry about this. I have lost sight of my my search. Let me just move this out the way. Okay, and let me also move this out the way. And here we go at last. Sorry about that. This is the site Black Links Connects, and just to make you quickly aware of what you've got in, it's a facility where you can do webinars, conferences, and this is one of the resources that Black Links has got, and we're using it currently for this broadcast. And so please take advantage if you've got a community that you'd like to reach out to, and it's in harmony with everything that you've heard today, then please contact us, submit your details, and we can make this platform available for that purpose. And it will obviously help in spreading the word. That was really all I wanted to say, and thank you very much for that.
Thank you for that. Catherine?
Yes, hi, how are you all?
Okay, we're good, Catherine.
Okay, my name is Catherine. Can you hear me?
I can.
My name is Catherine Asapoha Utsalo. I live in North Carolina in the United States. I am a Nigerian American. So the question I have is, by profession, I'm an IT professional, and I'm also a wellness coach. I do herbal and holistic wellness. So the question I have is, with LUMI, I do some businesses in Nigeria, and these are businesses that we also do online. So now I have some accumulated amount of money in Nigeria, and I need it in dollars because I am trading between the US and in Nigeria. And whatever I'm doing in Nigeria, I also use part of the money to pay my bills in America because I'm generating more income there. I have been using Western Union, and I also recently tried to use PayPal. But the thing is, with LUMI, am I able to do that? Am I able to take Naira from my Naira account and spend dollars in America? Is that possible? That is one of my questions before I ask another question.
Dr. Linus Servias, anyone on the panel want to take that question?
I can chip in. Do we have Fritz on the line? Is Fritz on the line?
I didn't see him,
Okay.
but you can take that up to
Yeah, let me take it. We have a solution for invoice payment. In fact, it's a big challenge for many for businesses within continental Africa. Many struggle to pay invoices. In as much as we are on path to create industrialization within continental Africa so that we can produce our own and consume our own, we recognize that a lot of businesses still import a lot, and they need to access that facility to be able to pay invoices internationally. So within the LUMI trading framework, we have a plan in place to support local businesses for invoice payment. So they will deposit their local fiat to buy the LUMI. They can then transmit that LUMI through our exchange, and at the other end, the LUMI can be converted into dollars because we have the local fiat on the other side. And so we can do vice versa. So in your case, for example, the Nigerian Naira that you generate in Nigeria, you will deposit that and buy LUMI, and then take that LUMI will be available to you in the US. You can then trade that LUMI in for any other currency that you want. So it's really as simple as that. It's very, very, very efficient, very slick, and it is designed to support businesses within continental Africa and the African diaspora so that you can trade seamlessly and cover your costs where you are as it may be necessary. But of course, you lose money when you do that. When you do conversion, you lose money.
You lose some money, yeah.
You lose some money.
Okay, but is it like the way Bitcoin is? Because I have used Bitcoin as well, converted the Naira to Bitcoin, and then the Bitcoin, then sold the Bitcoin, then got
No,
the dollars.
It's not.
Is that the similar thing, or it's totally different?
No, the LUMI is a central bank issued currency
Okay.
that we have made for the first time. It is actually the first digitally distributed central bank issued currency in the world, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And all we're doing is that when you get your LUMI, you can trade with other financial institutions that are willing to accept it and give you US dollars in return. That's why I was asking, we have some financial institutions that are market makers in the LUMI. That's why I was asking whether Fritz is on the call.
Okay, so any more questions I have, I think we can do that outside this so that other people, any other question I have regarding the trading part, I can ask that outside this. My other question is, I have a group, and if I need this same presentation for the group, do I just need to invite them in here on a Wednesday, or do you also like talk to different groups if they are available?
I think the first stop will be, we're going to be doing this twice a month, at least twice a month. Invite them in and let them have their first experience just be the same as yours. Yeah?
Okay,
come
thank
in.
you very much. And for Dr. Cheryl question, is it now or is it later?
No, Dr. Cheryl, Dr. Cheryl, are you still available? Yes, she's still in the room. So address
Okay,
the question to her.
Dr. Sherry, my question is, I'm a wellness coach. Recently, I just made some herbs into capsules as well. And I sell a lot of herbs in America, and these herbs comes from Nigeria. And to God be the glory, I have been able to support a lot of people when it comes to wellness. So I help with both holistic and wellness. So how do we work with you when it comes to what you need? I am available to partner with you. And because my passion is to get people to be well holistically. And from hearing from you, I know definitely I would like to do business with you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. We at SOAD have several groups already in place that I think we will best be able to benefit from a network. A network, because we have the traditional medicine and we have a minister in charge of that. We also have groups that are into research into DNA of melanin people and what makes us different. So the Minister of Culture also has the whole medicinal aspect together. So we are, as we speak, trying to coordinate the networking. So we don't want to start another organization because we already are inundated with too many. So we are trying to get links. So just send me your information, just send it, put it into the SOAD chat. I don't know, are you an MP? Wonderful.
Okay. I think she's
so, and then we will all get the information and come together, because that's what we really need to do, network. We have brilliant persons in every country doing everything. So, and then when we get together, we can look at opportunities for trade and interaction.
Appreciate, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mariama, you're next to speak. Mariama.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, great. It's just two questions. I guess they're for Dr. Linus, actually, regarding signing up for the LUMI. The first one is, once you sign up, it says that your account is pending. Like, how long, I mean, does that mean you can still, you know, have money transfers or do anything on there, or do you have to wait till it says the status changes or something? How does that work?
Okay, thanks for asking that question because it's extremely important. When you sign up, your account goes into a pending state because it actually needs to be checked and verified that you have provided the information that is required. You'll be surprised, some people don't provide information that's required. So unfortunately, that places additional burden for us to make sure that we are checking. The reason that's important is because this involves financial services, and we have to take KYC and anti-money laundering very seriously. So we would not allow anybody to participate on the exchange unless we know who they are. So if you're not able to provide your ID, then the application would be declined. Now, if the application is rejected, then when you log into the app, you will still be able to log into the app. When you scroll all the way down, it will tell you the status of your application. It will say it's been reviewed and rejected. Now, whenever you see that, it means there is some information that you're supposed to provide, which you have not provided. At that point, you can log in and you can update your account and it will be reviewed again. Unfortunately, it goes into a queue and it can take longer to process. So if there are people who have signed up and they're experiencing delays in having their accounts activated, it's because we actually have an active team of people making sure that the accounts have been verified and vetted. Now, it might sound daunting, and please don't be frightened to think, oh, but how can we onboard millions of people if we do it like that? That only happens for public registrations. There is a difference between when you are onboarded via a financial institution that we are working with, a merchant that has been approved, and an agent that has been approved. We give them some degree of latitude that they understand our KYC standards and procedures that are in place, and they are supposed to check the information that is being provided to make sure that it is correct, and they can create the account for you, and that account will be activated and live immediately.
That leads on to the next part of my question, what you're saying there, because I wanted to also know, I mean, I left a message in the help area to ask about becoming an agent, because I too have a lot of people that I would want to register that don't have necessarily, you know, technical, you know, they're not up with technology or may not even have the proper technology, but they'd still need to be registered and find a way to get them the phones. And just like what Dr. Cheryl was talking about, funny enough, because that was one of my questions a few weeks ago, and how to get them registered. And so I would be looking at how to become an agent to be able to facilitate that for my community and in my country as well, in the Caribbean. So I left a message in the help, but I didn't get any response to it. So, you know, I don't know what
That's fine. Thank you very much. We will be in touch. We will definitely be in touch. And there is, for your information, there is a large team of people in Jamaica right now that are involved in that process. Jamaica is very advanced in its organization.
No, it's not in Jamaica. It's a different island. It's a different island. It's not in Jamaica. It's a different island. It's in Dominica. Yeah, it's a different island. Yeah. So, excellent. I mean, there's nothing even happening there regarding the LUMI at this time. And I realized that I'll probably be, you know, even though I'm not there right now physically, because I will be there as soon as I can, but I've already started talking to quite a few people about joining, you know, signing up to the LUMI. And that's why I was, you know, making those inquiries about how to get that going.
That's excellent. That's excellent. VPM Hugh, are you on the line? If you are, perhaps this is a good opportunity to extend or expand the strategy that you have for Jamaica into other islands within the Caribbean, and perhaps you would be a very good contact in terms of helping our colleague to spearhead the effort.
May I add that that is also.
Oh, sorry.
Hello?
Oh, I'm still here. I was just going to say that I have spoken to somebody that's linked in with it. She said that she'd get back to me, but I was just wondering, just in general, how that process worked, if you were asking for help or wanting questions answered. But someone did contact me and say that they were going to assist me and how to get that going to become an agent. So, you know, or merchant as well. So, and I know that they're directly linked in with you as well, Dr. Linus. So, you know,
we would make sure that you have your account is activated for agent. I mean, that's exactly what we are looking for: proactivity within communities in every corner. The ideal scenario is that you start from your household and everyone is capable of being an agent.
This is
your
it.
entire family and your friends and
exactly. That's what's happening. It's going to start like that, and it's growing and growing until I then fly over and then get that process actively moving, you know, because I'm already speaking to people there over in Dominica, and they're quite engaging with it as well, actually, and because I'm still learning and getting more information about it. But that would be the next step. And finally, though, because I'm going to, you know, yield the floor, you know, like, though it's pending the account, obviously I registered before the next stimulus payment. I mean, would I still be eligible for that?
That's another excellent question. While your account is in a pending state, if a stimulus payment is made, you will receive it without fail.
Oh, great. I was a bit concerned about that. Yeah, that's good.
Yes,
That's good to know.
but if your account is reviewed and it is then discovered that you did not provide the information that is required, at that point, it will be rejected.
Okay.
Now, as long as you update your account before the next stimulus payment, you are fine. But no rejected account receives a stimulus.
Okay, that's good to know as well. Thank you. I yield the floor.
Sorry.
Dennis, I think you're on mute.
You're muted. You're muted. Thank you.
My apologies. Thank you, Mariama, for that. Just giving everybody else a chance. If they've got any questions, please put your hands up. Because after this section of people who've got their hands up, we'll be starting our closing remarks. So if you've got any questions, put your hands up now, please. And after this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people with questions. 5 people with questions. After this, we'll be taking the closing remarks from Chief Timothy and the Prime Minister. So next person is Africa Rise. Africa Rise, are you there?
Hello, everybody. Sorry, my mic was muted.
Also, Dennis, what we can do perhaps is to take several questions at the same time so that more people have the opportunity to express themselves.
Sorry.
Hello?
Hold on a second.
Muted.
No, Dennis, I was suggesting that perhaps we should take several questions at the same time so that more people have the possibility to express themselves.
More questions at the same time?
Yes, we can take even 3 or 4 perhaps at the same time.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Africa Rise, you've got a question?
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Most of my questions have been asked, but I am in Botswana, and there is no representation of the diaspora state here in Botswana. So my question was, how do I go about getting some kind of registration that gives things like members of parliament? The guy who introduced me to this is actually a member of parliament in Zimbabwe. So how do we go about getting that done here in Botswana? That would be my major question.
Okay, you've got contact with one of the SOAD MPs?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be your first point of contact in terms of liaising with him. In terms of personally, you can get yourself signed up on the LUMI, get used to the platform, and let other people know that we've got these meetings every 2 weeks. If you're not comfortable about explaining the whole LUMI process to them, so you've got a direct contact, as you said already. Address your contacts to your local representative, and I think that would be the best place to start from there.
And just to say, well, of course, I said that we need to take several questions, but Africa Rise, just quickly, you've got my details on WhatsApp in the chat, so do not hesitate to contact me this evening or today or tomorrow. Yeah. But let's take several questions. Yes.
All right. I think then I'll just, the rest of my questions are related to that. I will direct them to you and WhatsApp.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? It's supposed to, I think the Prime Minister wants to have open forum, so
yeah, this is
anymore. You just
have a question.
Yeah, this is Thurston Bilal. I wanted to ask the question, if you already have a LUMI account and you want to set up your business in a corporate account, is that separate? Do you go in through the app, through your username and set it up, or do you just start like you're doing a new one, get a new ID and all of that?
That's a good question. There are actually 3 options when you are registering and creating a new account online. One is individual, one is business, and the third one is individual with SOAT ID, with SOAT and Eco6 ID. I think it's important to emphasize on that, if you would permit me, because when Dr. Cheryl Chong spoke, she mentioned a few things about people living in communities where they may have challenges with IDs. I guess those people can apply for a SOAT ID as well when they put the application in. Now, they can also contact a community member to give a reference, and I'm sure we can consider that and see how we can address it. So it's important that you apply for your individual account with your private individual information, and for the business account, you provide your business-related information.
Hello, this is Nene Etuahine in California by way of Ghana. I had a question about registration, Dr. Cheryl Chong. I wasn't clear about the background. So what I understood was there's a push for us in our own areas to register people for SOAD. I just wanted to get clear on exactly what we were registering people for, and then the process that we're supposed to use. I wasn't totally clear on that in the presentation.
Should I answer now or wait until the other questions have come in? Should I answer now?
Yes. Let's take several questions, perhaps. It will be, let's take several questions, because I understand that there are so many people who want to ask, but do not forget the question, and we give it to you. Yes, thank you.
Anybody else?
I have a question.
Yes, I have a question here.
My name.
When one of the most eloquent presenter was presenting, I saw he use a YouTube video, a video that was posted on YouTube. And knowing now that this program that's going on could be easily removed from YouTube because of whatever interest that there is out there. Are there any other platforms that has been used that we could use to just not have our eggs in one basket?
Well, not at the present moment in time. We've got YouTube. Until we've got our own platform, I'm sure everybody will know about the platform, but the platform we're using at the moment is YouTube. Of course, we're looking at other platforms, but at this present moment in time, you know, we've got to use the best of the worst. So, next question.
We do have Social Africa app for that, which is a combination of Facebook and WhatsApp and everything in one.
Yeah.
Social Africa, social.africa.
Okay.
Website and app.
Yes, and so platforms like those, when we're having these meetings, you know, could be posted in the chat so everyone could have access to it and learn about it. at the same time as well and move on in the future.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. And we, no doubt with the LUMI progress, we're going to be having, everything's going to be moving to our own platforms. We're just in a transition process at the moment. We're looking to close this up in the next 4 or 5 minutes. So please, I've got 2 or 3 people who are waiting to ask questions. Can you just ask your questions now? That is Ricky, Tribute.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, just ask your questions, and then the panel can address all the questions, the last few questions that have been asked, and we can get to our closing remarks. So if you can make your questions quick and succinct, we'd appreciate it.
Her Highness and Excellencies and Prime Minister. Dr. Linus, I have a question for you. What's the timeline on you having the iOS app available? Because I really want to go now. I'm ready.
Right, we actually already have it. Just in case anyone is wondering, that is something that needs to be built. We just need to launch it and push it onto the iOS, onto App Store.
Well, my details are in the chat. As soon as you've got it, I want it, please. Thank you very much.
Just to let you know, Ricky, if you've got a PC, you can log on via your PC. I'm sure you're aware. So that shouldn't stop you. You can.
Just want to make it a wider audience to be able to get it as much as possible.
Oh yeah, of course. I hear what you're saying.
And
Thank you.
Also, even though we have other channels, the online channel is the most robust in terms of what you can do on the page. As you go into the app, functionality becomes unaccessible. As you go into the SMS channel, more functionality drops off. As you go into the NFC channel, which is a contactless channel, it's only contactless. You can only do payments. You can't do anything else. And so with the QR code scanning capability. So.
And just one more thing, who do we contact regarding investment or marketing, advertising, promotion of it? Is there someone on the platform?
Advertising, promotions of the LUMI?
Yeah, investment into the platform itself.
You're talking about the Swiffin platform or the LUMI platform?
Anything to do with it.
Okay, if you put any ideas that you have, if you send it to SOAD Comms Communications, and we'll pass it to the relevant department.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question now. I registered for the Swiffin, the platform, so I could get the wallet for the LUMI. And I haven't received anything in it as of yet. And I registered maybe like 2 months ago. I don't know if there's probably issues, going on my end.
If you send us the user ID that you use to register, we can check it. The chances are that if you haven't received it, then your account was reviewed and rejected. When your account is rejected, you have to go in, log in, and update the information. Make sure you provide what is required. Your account then has to be reviewed again and then approved.
Okay. So even if I was able to get in and see, how much would be deposited, there's, on the Swiffin account, there's a wallet icon there, and I hit either one, it shows you AKL and GXB, I believe. It would show you in the balance if I had gotten something.
Yes.
That mean, even with that would still mean that I could have possibly been rejected when I registered.
Well, if you say you've registered more than 2 months ago, and within those 2 months, 2 payments have been made and you haven't received it, then the chances are the only reason that you will not have received it is because your account will have been reviewed and rejected at some point between the time you registered and the time the next stimulus was paid.
Gotcha. Okay. And how would I go about doing that again? I don't to correct that. Just go back into the Swiffin platform.
You go and log in online. You can follow the registration video on how to create an account, and it tells you precisely the information you need to provide and what format it needs to be in. And then just make sure that you provide that. Just make sure you provide what is asked for. That's all. The people who are reviewing this are not experts. They have been trained specifically to look at an account that has been properly configured and properly registered and the correct information provided. When they see that, they activate it. If it's not there, they reject it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. We're coming up to the closing remarks now. I think there's only Nanette and Taft. Have you got your questions? And they'll be the last two, Nanette and Taft. Are you good? Nanette?
I just need Dr. Cheryl Chung to answer the question about registration.
Okay. Dr. Cheryl?
Yes, the question about registration for those who do not have access to phones is that there are two approaches. One, where the group leaders who have been registered would come on this program, and I will give the contacts of the persons who have developed the program. They come on the program and they will get phones for them from a company that will take LUMI. So they'll get the phones, register them on the phones because the phones come with data. Register them on the phones and then get the LUMI every month to pay back for the phones and pay for some other of their living expenses. And they will take the phones into the remote areas and do that. So I will give you the contacts of the persons who are, I think, on the call. I don't know if any of them are right here now, but they are Isabella Lango in Mozambique, Wilson Sezi in Zimbabwe, Lawrence Chanza, Lusaka, Zambia, and Dr. John Mubango. Those last two are those who have now the other solution, where we would have a faculty in their universities that is doing the national and community development program. And in order to get on that program, you need to get a phone. So they would also do the same process of getting the phone on credit, getting the LUMI on, paying back for the phone with the LUMI, and then registering for the course.
You said registering for which course?
The National and Community Transformation course is a part of the mandate of the Ministry of Family and Social Economy.
And so this is not just for the marginalized people, this is for everyone.
That's for everyone, but whatever we're doing for the marginalized people, we're doing for everyone. We're trying to level the playing field because those persons have the hardest time getting on. We have difficulty getting on, and we are in a very developed environment. So I wanted to focus on those which are the majority of the persons who really need the LUMI. And so that's why we have those two alternative suggestions. So my contacts are there, and if you contact me, then as the program develops, it's 10 African countries that they're doing it in Southern Africa, where they have the highest marginalized persons outside of the cities.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Cheryl. Thank you, Nanette. Really, so we've got to the time where we're getting to a close. If I haven't got back to you, please put your questions in the chat room and address it to whoever you want to address it to on the panel, and we'll get back to you. If it was a general question, then again, just put it into the chat room with your details, and we'll endeavor to get back that answer over to you. So we've reached a point whereby within this summit we're coming to a close, and we're going to have the closing remarks first from Chief Timothy, and then to close the meeting we'll have Dr. Louis Georges Tin, Prime Minister of SOAD. So Chief Timothy, the floor is yours, sir.
I recognize that we are running short on time and that we want to do a close. But I believe that I did make a promise to our good Sir Malaman to play at least 30 seconds of his LUMI song. Because you see, business is business, and the business music industry is massive. And of course, this is a song coming out of South Africa with a reggae flair. And well, I'm not even going to say anymore. Let me just give you 30 seconds of it.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, I shall not steal. He gives me the wisdom, He gives me the strength. He is my shelter. African jet, I spent on some LUMI. Once upon a time when things were hard, a time ago when things got tough, we sing the good, the bad, and the ugly. Making up the money, making up the too much, making no stress, that she has to come. See ya, me the come. When you get up, making no really light. When you get up, making no become lazy. When you get up, just grow up. You spinning LUMI, but me not me Illuminati.
Rastafari.
Oh yeah. Spinning LUMI, but me not me Illuminati. Illuminated, feeling so godly. This is power from the sun. Turn on the lights. Me looking for the holy one. LUMI young low, and get the LUMI low. LUMI young low. Big man car nigga flowing on Titanic. We use it and make they get to move this up. When I know what we get, I was saying, what the main big guy is on the bed of yeah, and then LUMI low. I've been dripping overseas. I've been dripping overseas. And then LUMI low. African, you can remember.
LUMI from America. LUMI from America. LUMI from America.
Knock it again.
Bravo, excellent.
Big up. I know ramen. LUMI for life.
Yeah, when I
LUMI for life, LUMI for Senegambia. All LUMI.
Wow.
LUMI.
Nice.
LUMI, the solar
Anything,
boy.
anything for the LUMI, anything for the LUMI will get me jumping, you know.
No retreat, no surrender. LUMI is here forever.
So let me tell you where we're at right now. You see, that is a song coming out of South Africa with a reggae vibe, singing about LUMI. And so going forward, this reset is about Africa and the global diaspora working together and using our own currency to drive our own economy. Imagine what starts happening when the fashion out of Nigeria, the fashion out of Ghana, the fashion out of South Africa is being worn by everybody in Barbados, in Jamaica, etc. And then the fashion that we have in the diaspora is also migrating to the continent. So rather than looking at Paris or looking at Rome for our fashion symbols, we are now looking amongst ourselves as a global African family for fashion. What happens when all of our experts in the automotive industrial sector in Canada and in the United States and in Europe start bringing their expertise to the continent and we begin to manufacture our own cars with the designs that we want to see our cars designed in. And we all know how we like to roll, right? So everything's going to look like a Benz, and everything's going to look like a Rolls Royce, but a little bit bigger, and it's going to have an African stamp on it. What's going to happen when our African engineers start building our own airplanes, so that when we're traveling around the world, not only do we own the airlines, but we're employing millions of people because we are manufacturing the planes, right? What's going to happen when we get out of the square box house that is so conventional in North America and Europe, and we start to remember some of the ways that our ancestors built their homes? Even the design of Timbuktu, the university in Timbuktu, is a global heritage location, and aesthetically and architecturally speaking, is transformative, as are the pyramids. Our ancestors have built all kinds of architectural designs. So when the continent and the diaspora starts to link together again from a business framework, and we achieve this paradigm shift, just coming out of the box and saying, okay, we have liquidity. Now, what is it we really want to achieve? That's when we see what the African family is really capable of doing. I'm not going to say too many words because I know that you guys are all probably tired of hearing me talking all the time anyways. But I do want to make one quick adjustment and correction, because Brother Hugh mentioned earlier about the $10,000, which is being made available as liquidity for all businesses in general. And I do want to remind that in addition to the $10,000 that's being made available for the small mid-cap business segment, we also have the 100% sales value for 2019 being made available to the larger corporate players. Okay, so it's an important detail. If you have a large company, corporation, whatever you sold in 2019, we will give you a line of credit reflecting that sales value, and it's a 0% interest line of credit. One of the key things that we want to be able to achieve is ensuring that the full value chain of our economy is able to function in LUMI, right? That you start paying your employees in LUMI, and ultimately that your employees are able to pay their rent in LUMI. And when they go shopping in any store, they're able to make their purchases in LUMI. You know, it's great for everybody else to toot their currencies. It's great that China's got a digital renminbi going on. It's great that the boys in Wall Street got their Bitcoin going on. I understand that the US Federal Reserves are also talking about bringing forth their digital currency. But the fact of the matter is, this is our time. This is our opportunity to shine and make ourselves known as the light of the earth. LUMI, the sun, right? All that melanin we got, that's that gift that's been given to us. That is the sun. We are the solar people. We are children of the sun, living in Sunbelt countries since time immemorial. So the future is yours to make, and the making begins now, because the future is now. And on that note, I thank all the speakers who made phenomenal presentations this evening, and I wish you all fun building the LUMI. There's no limitation. Whatever comes to mind, be creative, and let's make this transformation happen. Prime Minister, I concede the mic to you, and blessings. I thank you all.
Thank you, Samako.
You got some moves.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was very appreciated, very much. I wanted to give the floor to the Vice Prime Minister, Ketua Moako. Unfortunately, she told me her network is a bit low for the moment. However, I wanted to pay a tribute to her because she is the person behind this meeting who arranged everything. So she made the communication. And of course, I want to also thank our spokesperson, Andrea, and the Minister of Communication, Dennis Phillips. So thank you to all of you. I also want to thank our winner, and it was marvelous to have this music. I don't want to hear any other music now, believe me. So if you give us the permission, it will be the anthem of the LUMI. So every time we speak about the LUMI, we need to start and to finish with your song, if you accept that. And of course, we need to promote you because it's a business. So we will have a communication to see how we can promote your career, because we need to promote the people who promote ourselves. So that's the conversation we will have this evening, probably. So also, I wanted to thank all of you. There's no conclusion to make, it's only a beginning. And I like this music because, as you were saying, Chief Timothy McPherson, it reflects who we are. You are coming from South Africa. I think you were in London. This music is also coming from Jamaica, from many countries in the world. You are the world, we are the world. In reality, this is who we are, this is what we're doing. And if you did not have a chance to get the money because Mr. Watts was quicker than you, don't worry, you will still have your stimulus every month. That's why we chose this date. Today is the 27th, and your payment will come tomorrow. So if it is your last chance to have a stimulus this month, do it today. If you do it tomorrow, well, it will be for next month, probably. So that's why we decided to do this meeting now. So open your bank account today and tell your friends to come. You know, our ancestors, when there was an important piece of news, they would use a drum. So use your drum, call your friends, speak, and sing. Thank you very much. Yes, let's continue.
You want, shall I play it? You guys want to come up with a song? I'm going to put it back to the beginning. I'm putting it right back to the beginning.
Thank you.
Here we go.
The people won't leave.
It's hot, Dillerman. Thank you.
The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. I shall not steal. He gives me the wisdom. He gives me the strength. He is my shelter. African jet. I spent on some LUMI. Once upon a time when things were hard, a time ago when things got tough, we sing the good, the fight, and the ugly. Making up the money, making up the too much, making no stress.
How do I get this music?
We'll tell you next time.
South Africa represents. I want to make a song, Your Excellency. Wow. I want some LUMI.
You have a Caribbean rhythm there, Chief Timothy.
Let's see the LUMI again, please. Show us the LUMI once again, please.
Can you see the
For
money?
LUMI, for
I
that
want to
song.
see the money.
Let's see the money. Let's see the money, please. Show it up, please.
What's that?
Let's see the money, the money. Let's see the money, please.
Yes, the money, the money. Let's see the LUMI. The LUMI now. Play the LUMI song.
LUMI, Solar Gold.
Hey, only the best. I like your mood.
Yeah, man. Lumi, the solar goal.
Beautiful. Wow. Super.
It's a real hot song, Dillerman. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you love it.
If 2020 was, what was it, Jerusalem, then 2021's gotta be Lumi.
Lumi to the world.
Your Lumi song dance going, and let's rock the world with it. That's great.
Yes, no, we're gonna start working on something. We're gonna start working.
We've got a song. I believe I'm gonna create a dance for the Lumi song.
Yes, that's what we need, a Lumi song dance.
I really need to get the song. I need to get the song so I can start, putting little things.
Excellent. I'll create a dance for this one.
Right.
So it's gonna be called the LUMI challenge.
The Lumi sign language.
Because we're hearing the
call
top
the
part of the
challenge.
song. We need to hear the whole thing,
Brothers and sisters, we need to bear in mind, brothers and sisters, that music is still one of the most powerful tools. Still one of the most powerful tools. So my objective is that we look into the Lumi infrastructure and its business and use the music that will be sung by our kids will be the most powerful marketing tool to get this out there.
Yeah.
100%. Brilliant point. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I need to get the song, as I'm saying.
Absolutely, I
we're
second
in
that.
the radio business, we're in
Absolutely.
the promotion.
I'd invited a couple of persons on here to speak also, but I don't think any of them got a chance in. Ubuntu. If Ubuntu still there, Ubuntu, it would be nice to hear your voice, because he's coming from a place on the planet that I don't even want to disclose it.
Yes, Leanne is staying with us as we look at the other late game in the Premier League.
Okay, thank you.
Important one for the title race. Everton in 7th.
Studio 99, let me get your email address and I'll forward. We can discuss the song as.
You were muted at the end. We didn't hear that.
I was about to say, I had a question which I really wanted to address to Honorable Cheryl Chung. But before, I must say, Your Royal Highnesses, Your Excellencies, honorable members, fellow kings and queens, all participants. She mentioned many important points. I'm really flabbergasted by everything which she said. But she mentioned seed gardening, which is I'm very much for food for Africa. And seed gardening has a lot to not just do with farming, but a seed bank. And seeds are very precious, especially in the region of South Africa. And if you're talking about seed and food security and agriculture, then and even planting valuable products or added value to a product, farmland is a taboo, because owing to the fact that approximately 80% of the South African land is still in the hands of, let's say, Anglo-Saxon, to put it mildly, and the present status quo, which is based on the willing buyer, willing seller concept. I want to ask one question, but before I even ask that question, without ignoring the sovereignty of the Republic of South Africa, is there a plan to approach the current government in regard to allocating land to the disenfranchised and the marginalized? Because to have the right to do something and don't have the means to do so makes it almost impossible. I give the floor to anyone else who has a comment in that regard.
This particular meeting, we really wanted to concentrate on the LUMI and using the LUMI and how we're going to build business with the LUMI. At this present moment in time, as we're coming to close this meeting, we don't want to open up another meeting about talking about land and in the different parts of the diaspora. We want to try and keep the subject totally on the LUMI. If you've got a LUMI question, before we go, we can address that because we're closing the meeting, but we don't want to open it up into another discussion right now.
I thank you. That was never my intention. I thank you very much. I just want to say that when I intend to use my LUMI in the next 4 or 5 years to acquire land in South Africa, this will be one of the potholes or the pitfalls going forward. And it would be nice that someone at diplomatic level think about even consultation with the government as to that, because that's very important. But I'll close for now. I appreciate your comment, and I understand where you're coming from, Chip. Thank you.
Thank you. Has anybody else got anything else to say before we close, apart from?
Yes, I would love to offer my deepest apology to Mr. Boris, 100%. You know, when I came in, I was a little bit off, you know, so I want to give my apology, 100%.
No worries. Thank you. Apologies accepted. Thank you.
And on that note,
cheers.
We hope to see you in 2 weeks' time. Please, if you can just bring one other person so that we can get it up to maybe 300 people, or if you bring 2 other people, let them know about the Zoom chat. The link will be coming out to you. Let's make this, you know, we're right at the beginning of this LUMI movement. You were here right at the beginning. You can tell, we'll be able to tell our children, our grandchildren, we was here right at the beginning. All you have to do is bring 1 or 2 other people into the Zoom chat. Let's make it a roadblock, the next one, and let's build on what we've started today. So I'm not going to end it with any music, but I will end it with this.
We welcome you to the LUMI Business Summit, hosted by the State of the African Diaspora
2 weeks'
in
time.
association with Black Links Global and the African
Bye-bye,
Kingdoms
everybody.
Federation. Learn how to incorporate the LUMI into your business. How to
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
LUMI forever.
incentives, and so much more. Sign
LUMI
up.
time, LUMI time.
Dollars in our currency. Sign up.
Luminous.
Receive your 100 LUMI stimulus each month. Bye, everyone.
LUMI.
Summit,
The
Wednesday,
solar gold.
February 27th. Join via Zoom from
LUMI, 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 LUMI. Bye, everyone.
Eastern Standard Time. 2 hours. Well spent.
It's the sons and the daughters of the sun.
And good evening, good night. Hope to see you in 2 weeks' time.
One love. Anur Amen.